Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
Mimi ni Bernard Ngozi na kutakia Happy New Year. Mimi ni Shadizo na kutakia Happy New Year.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again for another amazing episode, another amazing moment, and the principle remains Kama Dawa. I am your host, Night Shadizo. That is my name. And tonight, I want to welcome you all for another amazing moment whereby we'll have a conversation tonight. And the conversation is tricky conversation a little bit, but we will all come to agree to it and also share our opinions and our views towards the matter that are being raised. Our nation is on chaotic right now as we are speaking. Many things are going east, many other things are not going the way we expected them to go. Other things are going just diversion instead of going in a good manner. But we are here tonight to have a discussion so that we can help someone and we can make somebody feel appreciated, feel affirmed, and also feel that he still have a hope to see tomorrow. Today, I want to call everyone on board, and I will be sitting in for Bernard, and also other people will be joining us from wherever they are watching us from. But tonight, we are having a tricky conversation. Tonight, we are deviating a little bit, but we are still on the track. And tonight, on conversation tonight, we'll be speaking about the story that is going on. There's this story that is raising up, that's going and being chaotic, of gender violence. So I'll just try to look to it towards this and see what is it or what does it takes and what is happening inside our nation, because there are a lot of things that are happening and there are a lot of things that are going east. Right now I've been seeing that many men, they come up, slaughter their women's, other even the women's slaughter their husbands, and even you hear the scenario like where that the husband killed the kids and his wife, later he also killed himself. So today we want to look more deviation towards that, and we check out who to be blamed and also where is the problem and how can we sort this out. For those people who are edge inside the media or people who are edge inside the group, and for those who are following us, thank you. Please, I welcome you inside the studio so that we can have the conversation all together as one, because you are the one with the experience, have a lot of life. You have lived and you have seen a lot, so we need your help so that we can also be guided and we can be counseled so that we can know where to step or where not to step as the young man, because this thing is so much afraid. And also that makes young men to feel like most of Gen Z, they say that the marriage is a scam. Does marriage is it a scam? So we also be checking towards more disease towards that, and also checking for what has been breaking out. So tonight we'll have a very hot conversation. But what I urge you people is come and let us speak this together. Let us have this conversation together so that we can also continue together. So what I urge people, just continue, share the link and invite somebody to watch and be part of this and be part and parcel of this. And if you're joining inside the studio, allow Steamate to configure your camera and your audio, and you can be part and parcel of this, because here is Sound Candy Talk, where you speak and we listen to you, because also you listen to us. Tonight is another amazing night. So tonight is gonna be hot, and it's gonna be hotter as we continue rolling down and we continue to look towards this. Number one thing that I'll be trying to converse or I'll be trying to check on is, what is it all about gender-based violence. We shall be checking more details towards that and also be contributing towards that. But before we go to that, also another breaking news that has been running up throughout the day, and I will also be sharing them. Like one of the breaking news that's been running up or has been running away, running on, is that there's one of the news that has been running up, the story of abduction. The story of the abduction is still getting to be alarming, brothers and my brothers and sisters. So let us be careful, because even today there's another scenario that was recorded on the road that was not a very good scenario. It was so bad, and it looks so bad. While we see young men being abducted, we don't know who will be tomorrow being abducted. Maybe it may be me, or it may be you. So let us be keen, let us be careful, and let us tread careful, because this abduction is going to another level that we would not appreciate it as Kenyans. So let us be careful and let us be safe. If you don't know, are not sure where you are going, please don't go. Be your chairman first, so that, or your security first, so that you cannot fail in such a trouble. Let us check this video out for the abduction before we continue with the man of the day.
Gari or something. Si wafanye si. Hakuna mwezekano. Wanga. Watu msaidie. Aje sio msaidie. Ani abdata sawa.
Now things are on the ground, and that one was one that is breaking out, and that happened today. So we must be careful and we must be conscious. Don't go out if you're not sure where you're going. Please keep your security first, and then other things to follow. So as we leave also to that, also another breaking news that, hey, it said the headline also, whereby there's a lot of things happening right now, but we will see more details towards them, because this is going crazy, or this is getting chaotic so much. Today, getting another news, a very sad news. The news says like this, so sad. A father beats her daughter to death, hey, because he scored KCSE a D+. And this has happened in the side of Mount Elgon, where in the village called Meloni village. So that's what one of the breaking news that I'm getting right on my desk. So let us be careful, because there's some things that happen that even we don't have the control over it. For example, like this one, that father beating his daughter to death because the daughter got a D+. Wow. Tutasema nini? Tutaenda wapi? So please come inside the studio. Let us have this conversation, because tonight it's going crazy. If a father can beat his own kid, the biological kid, to death because the daughter scored a D+ in KCSE. So parents, let's come up and tell me, what do you want it? Or why does it happen? Because sometimes you do exam, and sometimes the result don't come the way you expected, and that doesn't mean it's the end of life, or doesn't mean it's the end of the road. We can still rebuild from that D+ that they don't have gotten, and then we see the way forward. So also that was a very sad story. So let us come have the conversation, and we'll continue to be speaking more details as we continue to rolling up, or as we continue to having this debate tonight. So I welcome you all. Let us be here so that we can have this together as Sound Candy.
You are watching Sound Candy Talk live.
Thank you and welcome back for the Political Open Forum show. Tonight we'll be looking at another tricky conversation whereby there is a lot going on, and I want to welcome you all so that we can see to this together and we can move together. But before we continue, just tell me where you're watching us from. Let me give a shout out for some few people who are on the comment section and where you are watching us from. We are live on Sound Candy Talk Live YouTube, Sound Candy Talk YouTube, and also we are Sound Candy Talk Facebook. So please follow us on those websites. Today we are not on TikTok. TikTok members will forgive us, but we'll launch in tomorrow for the TikTok members. But what I appreciate is you people. You are the best people ever. So I welcome you on board. Let us come. Let us walk this journey together as we are having the conversation tonight, because tonight is getting hotter. But before we roll up, let me give a shout out or a thumb up for some few people who start us the show. Let me go on the comment section. The number one on the comment section is other than Esther saying, hi, good evening, Bernard, and all of you. Thank you. Kuna MNA, thank you. Hi, everyone. Kuna wa ebo cha lead pale we called Tun Muhammad. Say hi, Shadizo and everyone. Thank you. Saying hi, Shadizo and everyone. Thank you. Like the video, subscribe. By the way, it reminds me of something. Our channel, Sound Candy Talk channel, was had issues a little bit, but it's back. So please, but it came back with a lot of problems. So I ask you people, let us just go back, subscribe. Please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed on Sound Candy Talk, subscribe. I'll be putting the link on the comment section. So please click the link and subscribe. If the number of people watching is still low, let us invite people so that we can be a good number. Hey, thank you. To remind me, like the video, also sharing. I see it. Hey, namuona pale nani huyo? Fatum Muhammad Mahmoud, also on Facebook. Hey, thank you. Please join the show. Team Facebook, these days tulisonga chini, but Team Facebook, I know we are coming back. So Sound Candy Talk will also be coming back. Also, Sound Candy Talk Facebook will be coming back. Please come up. Let us join up and let us walk together this journey, because this is our nation. And we as we Kenyans, we know that we have the opportunity to speak, and when we speak, we be listened to. So please use the link on the comment section to subscribe, and it will be good, because guys, you are the best and I love you so much. So I'll be appreciating you as we continue moving on swiftly, for that we can have this conversation. Please just tell me where you're watching us from, and also you can put your views on the comment section, because today is gonna be hot and hotter and hottest. I don't know if there's something like hottest, but I know it's gonna be hot. Thank you for those who are joining. Thank you for those who are joining. Namuona anijita Kumalo TV. Thank you, Kumalo TV. Tuko ndani, anasema tuko ndani. Thank you for those who are joining to. I say Fartun anasema kwamba tupo ndani, join the show. Nani mwingine pale amekuja? Nazidi kusoma comments zenyu, tukisonga pamoja, tukiangalia yale ambayo yamejiri, kwa maana ni mengi yanajiri na Kenya mtafanya tukue wendazimu. Niambieni kwa nini watu ambao tunaishi Kenya tunataka kuwa wendazimu, manake yale ambayo yanatokea Kenya isla basi tunaipeleka mbio. Let us take it slowly as we continue moving on swiftly. I welcome people. The number of people who are watching is still so low. Please share the video, share the link, invite somebody to watch, and can also be free to contribute to the debate today. The link to join the studio iko kwa comment section, ndio hiyo hapo nimewekea, na also link to subscribe to the channel iko pale juu. Tumia the link. Watu wa Facebook, team Facebook tuko chini, team YouTube tuko chini. Let us join up and let us have the conversation today, because today it's going to crazy. Na nataka mkuje mtusaidie. Most of those people who are married, I just want you come on board and help me, because this is getting out of hand. Inawezafanya mpaka hata vijana wa feel like kuoa kwamba hiyo story ya kuoa inazidi kuwa scam, na wanazidi kuona kweli inakaa scam kwa sababu ya vile vitu zinafanyika. I want you come and help us, because you are our parents. Some of us, you are advisors. Some of us, you are mental people who deal with the mental illness issues, because even on the poll question, nimeuliza swali pale, who is to be blamed? Na naona pale Sound Candy Talk mmevote, the 40% say the social nini na also naona pia Sound Candy Talk team, Sound Candy Talk, thank you. Naona poll question naisukuma, na naona mchezo 50% imevote. Na also 50% mkivote, please remember to like the video. Na kuna kitu mbaya mnavote na ukaja like the video, you are not doing justice. You are just inside the studio, you are not liking the video, na watch through. Please let us style up, Kenyans, please. And also share the video. The likes are still low. Please let us style up. The link to join the studio yesterday inside the studio is on the comment section. I will play a video where you see what happened, or the things have been for a few days, what has been going on. Then later we will go forward to see more details of everything that's been rising up every day in our nation. So let us begin with this.
And away from that, angry residents of Maigaini and Gushue villages in Mwea East Sub-County in Kirinyaga took matters into their own hands, storming the homes of two men accused of murdering 16-year-old Purity McKenna. The girl's body was discovered near Thiba River in Mwea West Sub-County on Christmas Eve, sparking outrage across the region. The irate villagers dumped Purity's body at the doorstep of one of the suspects' homes, accusing him of the crime. Police had to lob tear gas to disperse the angry residents who are now demanding that the family of the suspects be evicted.
Hii familia kama vile watu wa kijiji mnaomba tutafanya hivyo. Si mnataka wafanye kitendo wote waende. Sisi ndio haitaki. Haya tunasema Kemonye na mamake na familia yake wote waome tuke. Kemonye anaranga na wanaume wetu na nyuma wa.
That was one of the things that has been going on, and see, it is too sad because what? Kama hivi ndio mambo iko, mambo imechemuka. Let's watch this also.
The Kenyan government has announced that gender-based violence is the biggest security issue in the country. In just 4 months, 100 women have been killed, mostly by men they knew, including partners. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi called this growing problem the elephant in the room. Since September 2023, there have been 7,107 reports of sexual and gender-based violence in Kenya. The police have created a special unit to address femicide, which are killings based on gender. Human rights groups are protesting for justice as Kenya faces this hidden crisis. President William Ruto has urged police to look into these cases, stating that 4 out of 5 murdered women were victims of intimate partner violence, meaning they are unsafe in their own homes. This week, Kenya's cabinet approved a presidential group to suggest ways to combat gender-based violence.
What is this about gender-based violence? Hebu mkuje mniambie tunashughulikiaje hili swala, because today in Donholm a woman stabbed his husband, then he set the house on fire. Kaamua kujichomea ndani na bwanaka amemdunga visu. Kana you yesterday night when you were going to morning, also another woman decided to kill the husband. Bwana anamuuliza, unanijaribu kunidunga na kisu, nikishika kisu. So it was so chaotic. Guys, what's not happening in our nation? What's not going on right? What's not happening? Please, I just want your communication. Come, let us have this conversation. Let us also check this.
Nairobi. To some sad news, and a 33-year-old woman is recuperating at a Nakuru hospital after her estranged boyfriend allegedly stabbed her 18 times, nearly taking her life. Florence Wanjiko, a mother of 2, was attacked by one Elias Njeru Motogi outside her residence in Kiamunyi last night in what has emerged to be a business and love-related issues. Rongai Sub-County Police Commander Cecilia Kemboi has confirmed that the suspect, who is a co-director in a real estate company, and the victim is on the run. Ken Gashohe reports.
Optimum Current Hospital Nakuru Florence Wanjiko, a 33-year-old mother of two, is in immense pain for severe injuries inflicted on her by her estranged lover and business partner Elias Njero Mutugi. Wanjiko says that she had a meeting with the suspect at a Nakuru hotel between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Thursday.
We met and the conversation was smooth, and it was out of business-related issues and other issues that were a bit personal. So later on, we came to an agreement and I proceeded home. We decided to be left there for some refreshment.
The estranged lover who was trailing her waylaid Wanjiko at her residence in Kiamunyi Estate where a confrontation ensued.
He came attacking me. I tried to drive off and run away. Unfortunately, I kawanga gari yake nyuma. I locked the door, but the window was open. So kazima gari na kuchukua funguo. He proceeded hitting me on the head, using his hands, pulling me outside. So by the time I was outside, hapa ndipo nilisikia ananikatakata.
As Wanjiko called for help, Njero Mutugi, a treasurer at a popular church in Nairobi, stabbed her 18 times in the head, legs and hands, severing some of her fingers.
I lost my fingers, all of them in this hand. The remaining one are fractured. I'm scheduled for theater tomorrow in the morning. This other one also. In my right leg, alikuwa na dunga, then nararua. Dunga na nirarua. And the total cuts I got from the knife were 18. And at my back I have one, which was directed to my stomach part.
The businesswoman was rescued by guards and neighbors who rushed her to hospital where the suspect forced his way before he was ejected. Wanjiko says their relationship has been strained and that she had moved out of a house they were living together. The suspect, however, could not take her rejection, which was made even more sour by their business issues.
We have a company together that I might not mention. We are directors. So there were huge issues. Other personal issues where I requested him to call it a quit, to let everything go. And he also owes me some finances. I was also requesting for that money.
She is now calling for justice as she may not be able to continue providing for her children.
I want to urge people to look for mechanisms of solving problems in a better way than attacking one another. Cheap EV cases are on the rise, especially in our county. Cheap cases of defilement and rape are also in the increase.
Rongai Sub-County Police Commander Cecilia Kemboi says that a manhunt for the suspect has been launched. Ken Gashuhi, KTN News.
That's how things or people we have divided go on and killing one another in the name of relationship. Wewe, shunga utakufa kugongeana sasa imekuwa constant. Unagongewa na shima yai na sini. Kenyans, please come on board. Let us have this conversation. Hebu niambie maoni yako ni wapi? Naona pale kuna mtu anajiita Sami Costi. Sami Costi anasema nini? Ni pressure. Ni pressure. Zakayo amepea watu kwa relationship na marriage. Hakuna pesa na food na ni stress tupu hii maisha. Hadi Zakayo atolewe kwa hiyo kiti. Hakuna changu ni hakuna change. Okay. In fact, it's gonna get worse. Hiyo ni maoni ya Sami. Sami anasema hivyo. Hebu niambie maoni yako ni yapi? Popote nipata niambie. Uko huru kuchangia kwa comment section na uko na huru kuja studio tuweze kuzungumza pamoja na tuweze kujadiliana. Wewe anasema kwamba ni wanasiasa wetu ambao wamejenga hali hii ambayo inafanya maisha kuwa magumu, inafanya watu wote ama watu ambao wenye upande wao kuishi majukumu. Maana juzi kumekuwa na bwana anafika mahali anachoka. Ngana bwana tu anaamua kuacha familia yake, maana yake anashindwa nitawalisha nini. Unakuta mwingine amefika mahali, mama amefika mahali anachoka, anaamua kutoroka watoto wake kwa sababu anashindwa. Mtoto analia anataka chakula, mtoto analia ako na njaa, na mama naye anaona kwamba mimi hata nikikaa hapa Nyeri niye tokomee tu nisione mtoto wangu akiteseka, manake hii inazidi kushinda kiwango. Wacha tazame hii pia tusikie, ndo tuzidi, nataka tu tusonge wote pamoja tusikize yote pamoja ilikuwa vipi na mahakama kuu inasema nini.
Let's move on to other stories of the day. And mental health professionals and the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights have welcomed a judgment by the High Court declaring Section 226 of the Penal Code that criminalizes suicide as unconstitutional. They are now calling on the Attorney General to initiate the process of repealing the offending provision and relegate it to the past. Olive Barrows has more.
Charity Muturi battled suicidal thoughts from the age of 14 into adulthood. She died just 2 months before she won the battle against the criminalization of attempted suicide in a petition filed together with the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and the Kenya Psychiatric Association. Muturi having persuaded the court through her lived experience that attempted suicide is a product of mental illness and penalizing the sick with up to 2 years in jail deters them from asking for help and receiving care.
When you're dealing with somebody who is attempting to die by suicide, then this is a mental health issue. And so when you make it look like a crime, then you're preventing this person from seeking the help that might have helped them not engage in that kind of activity in the first place.
On Thursday, High Court Judge Lawrence Mugambi declared Section 226 of the Penal Code, which criminalizes attempted suicide, unconstitutional. A decision, the court observed, that was in tandem with Section 2 of the Mental Health Amendment Act and the Ministry of Health policy, that persons who attempt suicide are in fact victims of mental illness and not criminals who possess the requisite mens rea to commit this offence. Justice Mugambi finding Section 226 of the Penal Code offends Article 27 of the Constitution by criminalizing a mental health issue, thereby endorsing discrimination on the basis of health, which is unconstitutional. He also found that it violates Article 28 on dignity, as it disgraces victims of suicide ideation in the eyes of the community for actions that are beyond their mental control. Lastly, he found it exposes victims to possible reprisals, thereby eroding the right to have the highest attainable standard of health as envisaged in Article 43(1) of the Constitution.
If a person is arraigned before the court pursuant to that statute, they will be able to raise a preliminary objection and say this is an unconstitutional and court-declared unconstitutional statute, but it needs to be repealed.
It is, however, worth noting that Parliament is one of 2 interested parties who opposed the petition on the grounds that it is Parliament that should have been petitioned, as it is the arm that wields legislative authority. And through the Clerk of the Senate, Jeremiah Nyengenye, Parliament made the case that the purpose of the section is to protect the sanctity of life and not to antagonize the rights of individuals suffering from mental health conditions. The Director General for Health, Patrick Amoth, also told the court that Parliament previously declined a repeal of Section 226 of the Penal Code in rejection of the recommendation of the Presidential Task Force on Mental Health. Olive Barrows, Citizen TV.
Ni hivyo mambo yamechemuka, basi niambie yako, maoni yako ni yapi kulingana na hili masuala ambalo yanayokumba wa Kenya kama hili. Ni maana hili swala limekuwa kizaazaa, watu wanakufa, wengine wanapoteza maisha, wengine wanafanya ambayo yamezidi kiwango chao. Lakini mada yetu ya leo imeletwa na hii ambayo tunaenda kuitazama hapa chini.
Jamaa ameenda kutoka usi. Kama karao. Ndio ametoka. Udema mate ametoka. Ametoka yote nyingine. Usa atasalimiwa. Lazima asalimiwe huyo.
That is the woman ambaye aliamua kudunga kuua bwana yake na akaamua kuchoma nyumba, na iko nyumba iko kwa estate. Acha tazama video nyingine, ndio hii wakijaribu kupata mradi. Hivyo mambo imechemuka, mniambie Wakenya, tumefikishana hapo, tumeamua ni kuchinjana na kukatana. Tukiachana na hiyo, tunaona tena ile ambayo limetokea sehemu ya nini, ambaye mwanamke ameonekana kwa CCTV jaribu kumaliza bwanake.
Na nikichukua usicomplain. Usijeniza. Okay, you see I'm bleeding. So if I attack you, it's a self-defense. So anything I do, self-defense. Okay. Ni vizuri. Inaonekana mimi nataka hivi ndio nikifanya against react kwa ni ndio ni self defense. Okay. Okay. Continue. Wewe unasema kitu watu tuongee. Watu tuongee. Hata kunipigia wewe.
Ndivyo mambo yalivyo na ndivyo mambo yameweza kujiri na ndivyo mambo yameweza kutokea. Basi niambie maoni yako ni yapi kulingana na masuala, maanake hili swala limekuwa kizungumkuti na limekuwa swala la kughadhabisha sana, maanake ni swala lingine la kutamausha zaidi. Naomba uniambie maoni yako popote ambapo unanipata, niambie maoni yako ni yapi na wewe unaona Kenya tufanye vipi ili masuala kama haya yaweze kuisha. Maanake ukiona vizuri kile ambacho kinajiri pale, huyu mwanamke aling'ang'ana wako mdunga. Wanatazama hivi hivi, huyo kijana ameweza kukatwa, imebidi ameenda kushonwa hospitalini. Ni hivi majeraha ya huyo mwanaume yalivyo. Niambie Wakenya tunaenda wapi kama wazazi, kama kina mama? Kwanza kina mama, naomba mniambie tatizo liko wapi. Lakini maanake tunaona kila mara nyinyi ndio mnakupa kipaumbele cha kuzidi kuandamana kusema kwamba mnataka haki kwa wanawake, mara wanawake watendewi haki. Leo hii nyinyi ndio mmegeuka mnataka kuuana, kisha mnapiga nduru. Naomba mniambie ni yapi haya yanajiri na hii ni kesi ipi na tunaweza itatua aje? Naomba mniambie, manake hili swala linaghadhabisha sana mkiona vile yale yanayotokea. Wana kile ujumbe unasema we are yet to see justice for this man. Instead, he has been a laughing stock. Wakenya surely, with other calling him weak. Hey, Wakenya, hebu niambieni. Niambieni. Au wanainuka wakisema kwamba huyu mwanaume alikuwa mdhaifu. Na kama angesimama ampige huyo mwanamke, mngesema kwa nini anapiga mwanamke? Ama kwa nini amemdunga dunga? Naomba muje mniambie. Naomba mnisaidie kuelewa. Naomba mnisaidie kuelewa. Kwa sababu hili ni swala lingine la kughadhabisha sana. Njooni kwa studio, njooni tuweze kujiunga pamoja, tuweze kusemezana. Nitumie maoni yako kwa comment section, nitakuwa nayasoma na nitakuwa nayazidi kuiangalia tunapozidi kusonga pamoja, manake mambo imechemuka hapa. Naomba uniambie maoni yako ni yapi kulingana na haya masuala yote ambayo tunayaona hapa na haya masuala yote ambayo tunakutana nayo hapa hivi. Nielezee maoni yako ni yapi, niambie, nataka nijue, manake kuna mengi yanatokea na mengi mingine ya kweli siwezi sema ni mazuri kama hili swala. Mwingine anasema hivi, mwingine anasema hivi, mwingine anasema hivi, mwingine anasema hivi. Hebu mniambie. Niambie sasa hapa nani wakulaumiwa ama nani mwenye kuna tatizo? Naomba mnielezee na mnisaidie kuelewa, kwa sababu hili swala sio zuri na tunaona linalitia na kwa laleta nini. Hebu tutazame hii nini tena.
The Kenyan government has announced that gender-based violence is the biggest security issue in the country. In just 4 months, 100 women have been killed, mostly by men they knew, including partners. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi called this growing problem the elephant in the room. Since September 2023, there have been 7,107 reports of sexual and gender-based violence in Kenya. The police have created a special unit to address femicide, which are killings based on gender. Human rights groups are protesting for justice as Kenya faces this hidden crisis. President William Ruto has urged police to look into these cases, stating that 4 out of 5 murdered women were victims of intimate partner violence, meaning they are unsafe in their own homes. This week, Kenya's cabinet approved a presidential group to suggest ways to combat gender-based violence.
Mniambie, nyinyi ndo mnateta, nyinyi ndo mnaleta nini sana. Hebu ona haya ambayo yanatokea ni mengi na yanazidi kiwango. Tutafikiria ya kuabductiwa ama tafikiria hii?
Nairobi. To some sad news, and a 33-year-old woman is recuperating at a Nakuru hospital after her estranged boyfriend allegedly stabbed her 18 times, nearly taking her life. Florence Wanjiko, a mother of 2, was attacked by one Elias Njero Motogi outside her residence in Kiamunyi last night in what has emerged to be a business and love-related issues. Rongai Sub-County Police Commander Cecilia Kemboi has confirmed that the suspect, who is a co-director in a real estate company, and the victim is on the run. Ken Gashohe reports.
Current Hospital Nakuru, Florence Wanjiko, a 33-year-old mother of 2, is in immense pain for severe injuries inflicted on her by her estranged lover and business partner Elias Njero Mutugi. Wanjiko says that she had a meeting with the suspect at a Nakuru hotel between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Thursday.
We met and the conversation was smooth, and it was out of business-related issues and other issues that were a bit personal. So later on, we came to an agreement, and I proceeded home. We decided to be left there for some refreshment.
The estranged lover who was trailing her waylaid Wanjiko at her residence in Kiamunyi Estate where confrontation ensued.
He came attacking me. I tried to drive off and run away. Unfortunately, nikawanga gari yake nyuma. I locked the door, but the window was open. So akazima gari na kuchukua funguo. He proceeded hitting me on the head, using his hands, pulling me outside. So by the time I was outside, hapa ndipo nilisikia ananikatakata.
As Wanjiko called for help, Njero Mutugi, a treasurer at a popular church in Nairobi, stabbed her 18 times in the head, legs and hands, severing some of her fingers.
I lost my fingers, all of them in this hand. The remaining one are fractured. I'm scheduled for theater tomorrow in the morning. This other one also. In my right leg, alikuwa na dunga, then nararua. Dunga na nirarua. And the total cuts I got from the knife were 18. And at my back I have one, which was directed to my stomach part.
The businesswoman was rescued by guards and neighbors who rushed her to hospital where the suspect forced his way before he was ejected. Wanjiko says their relationship has been strained and that she had moved out of a house they were living together. The suspect, however, could not take her rejection, which was made even more sour by their business issues.
We have a company together that I might not mention. We are directors. So there were huge issues. Other personal issues where I requested him to call it a quit, to let everything go. And he also owes me some finances. I was also requesting for that money.
She is now calling for justice as she may not be able to continue providing for her children.
I want to urge people to look for mechanisms of solving problems in a better way than attacking one another. CCTV cases are on the rise, especially in our county. Cases of defilement and rape are also in the increase.
Rongai Sub-County Police Commander Cecilia Kemboi says that a manhunt for the suspect has been launched. Kengashohi, KTN News.
That's how things are, and we'll be checking more details and see how things happen. Let us watch this story first.
Violence have been on the rise since March 2020. Where love once flourished, what's now left is verbal or physical abuse, which sometimes sadly leads to death. Now, the Gender Ministry last week called for a collective approach in dealing with the vice following an increased spate of murders perpetrated by partners in intimate relationships. Now, while the COVID-19 pandemic has been cited as a key factor in the increased cases, most survivors of gender-based violence say they endure the violence because they have nowhere else to go. As our very own Mashirima Kapombe now reports on the special feature, The Halfway Haven, the number of rescue shelters in the country is wanting. Take a look.
Najua Bwana anatenda, najua Bwana anatenda, hata kama itachukua muda. Najua Bwana anatenda.
Peace and calm embraces anyone who walks into this compound, a shelter for victims of gender-based violence. Its walls conceal the past pain endured by the 30 women and children living here. Hope, not her real name, came here after over 2 years of violence from her abusive partner. A mother of two, she was a bartender when they met. Their relationship bloomed, but demolitions in the area where she lived left her homeless. 3 months pregnant with a third child, she and her children moved into her partner's home.
Venye mimba ilikuja ikafika miezi 8 ndio sasa akaanza sasa kutoka rasi zake sasa. Mara nipiga huyu mtoto, mara mimi sitalipia watoto shule, mimi watoto nisaidia. Mimi mkoro wangu akunisomesha nikakuwa mwizi hata huyu mtoto anaweza kuwa mwizi.
She endured the pain silently. Neighbors were afraid to intervene.
Watu wananiogopa hata wataki kuniongelesha. Tu ukienda kwa kibanda mtu anakuambia tafadhali sitaki maneno na huyo mzee wako, chukua mboga uende. Hata hao watoto kule watoto wanacheza na wanacheza tu hivyo wawili tu.
She sought assistance from the authorities, but that too left her dejected.
Venye nilienda kituo cha polisi, hao wakaniambia hiyo ni ya family. Tuongee tu kifamilia mimi na yeye hapo.
Her plan to live with her children hit a snag when her partner discovered her whereabouts.
Akanitrace mali nilienda kibarua kia Michael. Kwenda kumbe alikuwa ameendea Mugoka. Akapita na pikipiki ndiye akapata nimelalisha mtoto chini ya kibanda. Ndiye akachukua mtoto. Sasa alimchukua akamwagia mafuta, anamrusha juu ya mabati. Sasa ndio wenye wanaenda kuchukua mboga wanasema huyo mwanaume alikuwa anashika mtoto hivi na mkono moja. Anamrusha hapo chini akamumwagia mafuta. Sasa ile kwenda kuweka kiberiti ndio sasa wamama wakaenda wengi wakachukua mtoto.
While seeking treatment for her baby, a clinician introduced her to the LVCT health officers and a plan to rescue her was set in motion.
This lady was seen by our HTS provider in Korogocho. She thought that this lady needed more than just counseling. She needed now a place where she could get a shelter.
Venye aliniambia yeye anafanya na hii ofisi ya LVCT, kuna mali ananipeleka nikuje tu nisikue na uoga. Alafu mali saa ilifanya nikaenda haraka. Aliniambia kwa station. Nikasema kwa station haizi nifanyia kitu, acha tu niende.
Close to a month now, she and her children have found refuge in this shelter. Other women with similar tales give her comfort that she is not alone. Sarah, a social worker living in the shelter, tells us the home offers temporary relief for the lucky few who make it here. Weekly counseling sessions unburden their hearts. But in addition to the space limitation, they cannot stay here for too long.
We have those who will stay here for 1 month. We have those who will stay here for a maximum of 3 months.
Sasa nikitoka hapo nje sijui nitaelekea wapi. Siwezi kaa Nairobi. Naona tu pata atanipata venye alipata huyo mwingine, na akinipata sina maisha na watoto. Sina maisha.
Her fears are understandable. A study by the National Crime Research Center shows that at least 71% of GBV cases reported between January and June 2020 were female victims, translating to 10 females daily. The main perpetrators being youthful males aged 18 to 33 years who are in a family or intimate partner relationship context.
Yeah, most of the gender-based violence cases are never reported. The research shows only 20% are reported.
The report highlighted by the Ministry of Gender showed the common forms of GBV recorded during the 3-month restriction period of April to June 2020 were murder, sexual offences, defilement, grievous harm, physical abuse and child marriage. According to UN Women, an increase in reported gender-based violence cases is not just a Kenyan problem. The increase in cases raising the demand for emergency shelters across the world. Consolata Waithaka started Women's Hope Center, an NGO focusing on gender-based violence 13 years ago. At the time, her focus was on advocacy, but she realized there was a gap.
I remember one time we were called by Nairobi Women to do a story for a very young girl. She was 13 at the time. And I realized this girl does not need a story. A girl who has gone under CS, you just need someone to tell you it's okay, you need a healing place. So I thought, why don't we start a shelter whereby when these people are going through issues of GBV can have a place to call home and a healing place.
She started with a small structure to accommodate the survivors, but the numbers were overwhelming.
What would I want? Me, myself, a consolata. I'd want to go to a place calling, I'm feeling like I'm having security, I'm feeling that serenity. And when I came here, I found that.
Until March 2020, she was able to run the shelter with donors and partners who used the grounds for different purposes.
And by the time the corona was hitting, we had signed contracts on how we'll do. We had several weddings queuing. We had several conferences, people come here training their youth. And of course, all that was shut.
Cases of gender-based violence have increased significantly, more so since the coronavirus pandemic hit in March last year. The economic situation making it harder for shelters such as this one to house, feed, counsel, and empower survivors. There are 42 shelters housing gender-based violence survivors in the country. 36 are privately owned, 6 are run by government.
Gender-based violence is very complex. Not every person who is a victim wants to go to the rescue center.
The Center for Rights, Education and Awareness CREW supports shelters like Women's Hope by identifying survivors who need to escape from abusive spouses.
Are they safe where they are? If they are not safe, then you check for support systems. But if there is no support system, for example, then now that is a person that would ideally be a candidate for a shelter.
At the shelters, the women stay for 1 to 3 months undergoing counseling, seeking medical treatment, and learning crafts that will help them sustain themselves once they leave. Destiny, not her real name, finds solace in God's word. A 25-year-old mother of 2 is among over 200 women who found refuge in the Women's Hope Center.
I feel like mzigo imeniondokea. Because mzee every akikuta anaanza kelele kwa gate. Wewe mwanamke huko. Furaha yangu ilikuwa akilala nje.
She endured 3 years of emotional trauma and physical abuse from her spouse. At the center, she was first admitted in hospital for 2 months. She had depression and ulcers. Her 3-week-old baby was also sickly.
The organization in the consulata is the one who paid my bill, about 600,000.
Her time lapsed at the center and she's now picking up the pieces of her life. CREW, the organization that brought her to the shelter, facilitated her exit. With a 32,000 shillings cash transfer, she found a home nearby.
I feel relaxed.
Destiny is not out of the woods yet. She is still sickly and can barely fend for herself, let alone her 2 children.
You can see for now, I can't do any biashara. I'm too weak. I need to eat more so that I can get energy.
Advocates of gender issues agree that for cases like Destiny's, alternative homes should be in place to help survivors build themselves before they can live on their own.
We need a halfway home for these women, that they can go still heal as they are trying to see what I've left their shelter. I'm now in halfway home. I'm now ready. Maybe another 2 months, I can now live, and now I'm on my own.
If shelters can be able to extend, probably stay in the shelter for survivors who are not feeling well, but of course, there's that funding.
Running the shelter is a frustrating affair. Apart from carrying the weight of the survivor's trauma on the proprietor's shoulders, funding is a constant headache.
Are they given enough resources? Of course, resources are never enough. Although we have guidelines to how to establish rescue centers, how they are run purely depends with who is running them.
If the government was to start funding the shelters, I think it will make a very positive impact, because we'll have the shelters that are running year in, year out.
Most of the people will tell you, Consolata, may God bless you. Okay, I don't believe this, I want to be blessed. But I want this year to be pushed beyond the blessings. What about that woman who really needs this safe house?
Despite the challenges, there is a silver lining.
Hiyo ni ya 50, hii ni ya 30, hii ni ya 70. Vitu mzuri.
Halima Atieno's smile lights up her business. She was taken to the shelter by Crow after a woman found her wandering with a baby in hand.
Alinifuata tu nikiwa mtoto bila anything, sina hata nguo, sina hata nini. Nikiwa kwa barabara nilikuwa natoka huko hivyo juu sana teremka hivi. Kakutana na mama Muislamu ambaye muona Pevi Rahma.
The woman who helped her was also a survivor of GBV. She introduced her to Crow, who first gave the option of summoning her partner and resolving issues. But Halima had had enough. She had a 1-year-old sickly child who deserved better.
Hakuwa hajali na plus, I guess hiyo venye mtoto alikuwa kila wakati ya hospitali, kupelekwa hospitali kurudi, alikuwa anaona ni kama ina burden. Juu na nakumbuka baba kuna siku niambia mtoto anafaa kupelekwa hospitali, akaniambia mtoto akitaka kufa ya kufe tu. Hata shina amempatia stress.
Her baby died 3 weeks after she was admitted to the shelter.
Hapo sana place nilifeel feel yenyewe I'm depressed. Nika feel like kila kitu yenye nilikuwa nayo, everything imeisha sasa. Sina place. Yani sasa nikaona okay, nimebaki peke yangu. Nikarudi kwa shelter. Kwa shelter venye nilifika, women are there. Watu wapo hivyo. Yani walikuwa tu, yani it's like family. They're just there for one another. Walikuwa wanani encourage. Kwa hapo wanakuja niambia usijali, kila kitu kitakuwa poa. Yani ilikuwa ni like one big family. You feel like you are not alone.
Counseling and lessons in crafts and cooking hastened her healing. She received a 22,000 shillings cash transfer from Crow, which helped her start life afresh.
So nikabai meza, nikabai karai, nikabai kijiko. Kuna siku naweza kaamka yenyewe mfike pale yenyewe unasema tutakosa kuuza. Kuuza naye kuna siku utakosa kuuza. Utauza hata kama ni 20 bob yako, hata kama ni 50 bob yako utauza. Mfano hivyo afadhali nilale hapa hivi chini, lakini niko na peace of mind. Sitalala nikiamka nasikia naumwa mwili juu venye ulichapo usiku mzima. Sometimes ile wana feel okay na feelingi. Sometimes I do feel alone. Sometimes inafika at times I miss my son. I wish ningekuwa na yeye hapa. Stuff kama hizo, lakini sasa nile I'll say that it's much more better. Yani the life I'm living now, it's much more better kuliko yenye nilikuwa na kaile mara ya kwanza.
Rescue shelters for gender-based violence survivors offer solace, healing, and the beginning of a new life for many. Due to the high number of cases reported by women, all 42 shelters in the country target females and children exclusively. There are none targeting males. Successfully rescue women, children, and men from cycles of abuse.
Hivyo mambo yalivyo na hivyo mambo yanazidi kuchemuka. Basi naomba mniambie yapi ambayo tutaweza kufuata. Kama mwanawake angekuwa amefanyiwa hivyo, mnasema amedhulumiwa, na mwanaume mnasema amekuwa mdhaifu. Hebu mniambie ni lipi ambalo watu watafuata napozidi kuzungumza na napozidi kujadiliana, anapozidi kudadavua na anapozidi kuangalia ni yapi ambayo yanazidi kujiri. Hebu niambie maoni yako ni yapi, nitakuwa nayasoma kwa comment section, na mengine nitakuwa nawaruhusu kuweza kujiunga nami studioni ili tuweze kujadiliana. Na tukiachana naye, hicho tunataka tufuate hili, tunaenda tu mapumzikoni kidogo, tukirejea tunarejea taarifa zaidi.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
and gender-based violence on this Wednesday of this particular week on health and lifestyle. And of course, I'm sitting in for Willis Raburu. My name is Safin Acheng Oma, and we just want to talk about this and to understand more when we talk about sexual and gender-based violence. What exactly do we mean? What progress have we made as a country when it comes to managing this? And in case you find yourself in a situation, what is it that you need to do as the next point of action for you to get help? Or if you become a witness to a gender-based violence incident, what is it that you can be able to do to be of help to somebody who really needs it at that particular time? And that is what we want to talk about. Of course, just coming after the conclusion of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And we chose to take this conversation forward so that at least we can be able to help each other and make the society safe for us. And with me in studio to have this very important conversation, I'm having a panel of 2 ladies. And of course, just to introduce from my far right there, she's not new on the program, Dr. Elizabeth Warui. She's a medical doctor. Asante Daktari for creating time for us once again.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Right, and of course we have this morning as well, Catherine Chacha. Catherine she's the National Director, Women in Global Health, the Kenyan chapter. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
All right, and of course we just want to talk about SGBV. Yeah. And I know what we've done here, many probably would be thinking that when we're talking about SGBV, it's all about women, it's a women affair, it's a women issue. Let's begin by just demystifying this. Is it essentially about women? Let me start with you, Daktari, when you discuss matters GBV, or it has a bearing also on the men?
Yeah. So, yeah, sexual and gender-based violence is not mainly about women. It involves both genders, both men and women. So, and we'll start by defining what is sexual and gender-based violence, rather what is gender-based violence. So it's any act that is perpetrated against a person's will and is based on gender norms and an unequal power relationships or an equal power. Basically, is an aspect of gender and an aspect of unequal power relationships. So it affects both women and men, girls and boys, but the fight against it is mostly directed towards women because they're the ones who are, the most survivors are found to be women. But it affects all races, both genders, so it does not discriminate. Yes, so yeah, both genders can be affected.
It's not a respecter of persons.
It's not a respecter
or a respecter. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You may be today it may be somebody else. Tomorrow it could be you. So you never know. And it could be a woman. It could be a man. In fact, we are seeing a rising trend when it comes to. I don't know whether it was there before, just that they're becoming more vocal now, or it's something that has been there. Maybe you can add your voice as well on the misconception that has been there that gender-based violence is all about women. Has it always been there among the men, or are they just suddenly becoming vocal about it? What's your assessment of that?
Okay, I'll say we have brought up a culture where men silently don't speak up. And then being a nurse, and I have worked in health facilities at different levels, I'll say we have seen men who have undergone violence coming to the facilities, but silently don't want it to be echoed out. So it's a culture that we've developed where men are really feeling that once I speak up against violence or I have been violated, nobody will listen. And the surprising bit is men are not able to embrace men who undergo violence. So it's a culture where when men want to speak up,
there's a voice that tells them you're a man, you're not supposed to speak up. So men are undergoing violence, but now this is the silent violence, which is so worrying and coming up. And we cannot say that men are not violated. They are violated, but they really are not able to speak up and tell people that I am undergoing violence. I am undergoing sexual violence. Because when you talk about or ask any man undergoing violence, the men are the first people to tell them, how can a man be beaten? How can a man be sexually violated? But it's there, and we need to really speak up against it.
Yes, and to add on to that is how society has socialized the aspect of men speaking up. So men in our society are termed as leaders, they're termed as providers. They're supposed to be strong. So once a man comes up and tells a fellow man that they've been violated, that they've been beaten, once they come up crying, they'll be termed as what? Weak. Yeah. So how society has socialized the aspect of patriarchy, how we've been socialized, the mindset that we have is what is causing men to not speak up, and that's why it has been thought of mainly to be a women thing. So that's why we're trying to create awareness to tell men to also speak up, because even the numbers based on the KDHS survey shows that only 1 in 10 men are facing gender-based violence, and that's not the case. That's not on the ground. When you assess how the situation is, you find that there are more men who are actually facing this. It's only that they are not speaking up, they're not speaking out because of the societal norms, how we've been socialized to think. So yes, the cases of men are there, only that they do not speak up and they do not support each other. Yeah, so demystifying that as well is very important.
Yeah. You know, the most unfortunate bit about the statistics that we have is the fact that these are the only cases that have been reported.
Yeah.
And they're, I think, even more than double that have just been kept under the wraps, that people have not come out to speak about. So we really do not know whether we are dealing with a real problem when we use the numbers to inform our interventions or not. But we'll talk about the silence, because we are going to also address some of the challenges in addressing SGBV as we continue this conversation. But I said earlier when we were starting that we're having this conversation just at the climax of the 16 days of activism. And this was a time when it opened up a lot of conversations on how we have managed gender-based violence and what are the gaps, what are the steps we have taken, the gains so far. And I just want to get from both of you ladies, if you observe the trends in our country, what concerns you, what are the issues that you'd like, that going forward we should prioritize in addressing this? I'll start with you, Dr. Arroy.
Okay, so I'll start by, first of all, commending the government that is in place and even the previous government, because there were 12 bold commitments that the previous government under His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta came up with. Various bold commitments in the trying to increase this fight against gender-based violence. Some of them include like Polycare. Polycare is police care in full, and this means it's a one-stop shop where a gender-based violence survivor can go to a police station and get all the services they need. And so services of a survivor is usually multi-sectorial. So you don't just need one person, it needs a collaborative support and a collaborative effort. So the Polycare the Polycare intervention was brought about to help this survivor go to one place and be able to get all the services they need. This includes reporting to a police officer. In the same station, they'll be able to find a medical personnel, be it a doctor, a clinical officer, a nurse, who will be able to do the examination. In the same place, they'll be able to find psychological services for the counseling, and also a lawyer. So there's the Polycare, and we'd like to commend Nairobi County is already implementing that. So there's something else about UHC.
Ni hivyo tunaamua kusema, na ni hivyo tunazidi kusonga, na nazidi kuwakaribisha nyote ambao mnajiunga na sisi. Mniambie nyinyi mnaona maoni yenu ni yapi, na ni yapi ambayo yanajiri, na ni yapi ambayo yanazidi kutokea. Manake haya ambayo yanazidi kutokea kwa kweli ni jambo la kusikitisha. Na mwana public participation amejiunga na mimi. Public participation, hali gani?
Salama Shadizo. Mambo?
Niko poa hapa, mimi naona hapa maneno ambayo yanafanyika Kenya.
Hii Kenya, sijui sasa kama imekuwa wanawake ndio wanakata watu. What is not happening? Ana mwingine umeona, mwingine alichoma. Uliona hiyo ya Donholm?
Icheza hapa?
Oh, ushacheza tayari?
Ndo hii hapa aliamua kukata kuchoma bwana, kufungia bwana.
Jamaa ameenda kwa usi. Bibi ametoka.
Naona aliamua kuchomea bwana mpaka kwa nyumba ndani. Samahani, tumempoteza public participation. Natumai anarudi. Tunazidi kuunganika pamoja. Basi nipe maoni yako kwa comment section, nitakuwa nayasoma, na link ya kuingia kwa studio ipo kwa comment section. Pia bonyeza au ruhusu stream hadi configure your kamera yako na configure your audio, na ujiunge na sisi tunapozidi kusonga mbele pamoja na tunapozidi kupiga hatua, manake mingi yanajiri na mingi tunayasema. Unaona amerejea public participation. Karibu public participation, tuendelee na mbele.
So hii nchi sasa mi hata nimeshindwa kuielewa tena. Nikaona kesi ingine, mbaba ameua msichana yake kwa sababu alipata D+ kwa KCSE. Amempiga hadi kufa. Hiyo umeona hiyo video?
Sijapata video but nimepata hiyo ripoti na nimepata hiyo taarifa.
This country bana, I don't know where we are heading because sijui sasa ama ni venye tumeacha Mungu, tunatakana tumrejelee Mungu ama namna gani, because vitu zenye zina happen mpaka inatisha. Alafu leo nimeona Ruto ameform task force, not task force but working group on gender based violence. Sasa ameweka watu 42 kwa hiyo working group. One of them is ujamaa wa criminal mwenye ana represent reporting on crime in alikuanga TV47 akaenda Citizen, Franklin Mwala. Sasa I was like, sasa watu 42 wote ndio watu 42 ni watu wengi sana. Is it I don't know, watu wanatakana wafanya kazi gani? Sasa hata Franklin Mwala anaenda kufanya kazi gani kwa hiyo task force just because ana report on criminal activities? Sometimes Ruto ana making some decisions which make me really wonder. Yani he's not as in, first of all, your number that's too high. Even for a working group, that's a very high number, because a working group inatakana ikuwe tu just some number of people yenye sasa anaweka mpaka anaweka reporter wa crime hapo. Sasa huyo ata add which value? Which value is he going to add to the group? But there's a lady there nimesikia akisema that sijui kwa police, sijui Polycare. Kwanza the worst people in this war against gender based violence ni polisi. Polisi ukienda kwake ni kwanza kukejeli. Sometimes wanaanza kukuuliza, especially if you are a rape victim, huwezi hata fikiria kwenda kwa polisi because they will make you feel worse. They will make you feel worse na hakuna kitu chenye watakusaidia nayo. So that is the first weak link kwa hii mambo. And that's why a lot of people don't report, because utaenda huko sasa waanze kukejeliwa, kumake fun. Kwani ulifanya nini? Kwani hukupika chakula vizuri? Sijui stories gani. So unajua the way police wanaweza kuwa rude. Polisi wa Kenya venye wanakuanga rude and sarcastic. So that's the situation in Kenya. It's very bad. What can we say now? It's very painful. Hata sielewi juu inayo imekuwa.
Umeona hii comment nyote wanasema kuna hii kitu imenihuzunisha. Ione, naileta screen kwa screen tu utaiona. Inasema aje?
We are yet to see justice for this man. Instead, he has become a laughing stock, with others calling him weak, supposing he did this to his wife, drinking, dancing, and stabbing her. Wanaume, may God always fight for you. Thanks to the CCTV cameras. Imagine, just like Shiko, our lady went and reported that the man wanted to kill her. Cameras have once again saved the boy child. Ni kweli, by the way, sasa men have become victims as well. Tunaona hata hiyo ingine karibu huyu jamaa achomewe ndani ya nyumba. So hii kitu ni kama sasa hii pepo imetoka kwa wanaume, sasa imemove towards the lady. Na unajua, of course, for a man it's more shameful juu you're physically stronger. So hata kuenda kwa police station kwanza kusema ati bibi yako alikutandika ama alikuwa anajaribu utaulizwa ni mwanaume wa aina gani. Wewe mwanamke anaweza aje kukupiga na ni wewe uko na nguvu kumliko, unajua. So at times ladies also take advantage of that because wanajua it's very hard for even a police to believe a man. Hata polisi ukienda tu kwa police station patane, utaanza kuulizwa ni mwanaume aina gani, bibi yako anakupiga namna gani, aje, na ni wewe ndio uko na nguvu kumliko, ama ulikuwa mlevi, ama sijui nini. You know, they just start making fun of the whole thing until now you're like, cause hata kuna time Wetangula mwenyewe alikuwa amepigwa na bibi, ni kama alienda kwa police station, walimcheka and they even called newspapers to publish the story. So gender-based violence, by the way, but I think to me the bigger picture is that tumelose maadili in terms of our faith, because I believe kama there's you know, kama watu wako committed to God, hakuna venye wanaweza fanya mambo kama hiyo. As you can see, kama huyo mwenye alikuwa anakatakata mwingine na kisu, alikuwa anakunywa pombe akidance dances zingine za kishetani hapo, mpaka hata house help mwenyewe alikuwa anashindwa nini inaendelea, mtoto anashindwa nini inaendelea, kwani maadhi leo kunaenda aje, anakunywa pombe, ana dance hapo akiimba na nguvu. So already it's like she was not even in her right mind by the time the guy came in. So hizi vitu, you know, they have an evil nini behind it, because now what about if that guy akufikiria haraka, ama angeenda kwa room pengine alale, alafu udem akuja na kisu amdunge, unaona. It could have been now a murder case, huo mwanamke aende jela, watoto waachwe hawana mama hawana baba. So that spirit of destruction juu hata Yesu mwenyewe alisema, if you are annoyed, if you are angry with your brother, you are like mtu mwenye ameua. So meaning kama uko na hiyo hasira yenye inakufanya mpaka unaweza jaribu kukata mtu na kisu, that means uko in your mind already, it's like you have already killed. Ni ile tu sasa it's about to materialize physically, but in the spirit realm ama in your mind already ushaua mtu. Naweza ukishamuua, of course lazima uende jela. Ushaenda jela na ndio hiyo amekufa, what happens to your children? They start suffering, wanapelekwa kwa ma relatives, wengine wanaripiwa huko, wanamistreatiwa. So the whole thing is just bad. The whole thing is just, and that's why I'm saying that we need to come back to God, because I believe kama wewe ulikuwa kwa nyumba yako na ulikuwa umeomba, ulikuwa unasoma Bible yako, hakuna venye Bwana akikuja utaanza kumthreaten na visu. But if you are drinking, you had been drinking, pengine umetoka job, so umetoka job 6, alafu umekuja ukaoga, ukakuja hapo ukaanza kukunywa, ukakunywa, and then as you are dancing there, na pengine kuna kitu ilikuwa imekasirisha, sasa ndio unaendelea kukasirika zaidi. Akikuja tu hivi unaenda kuchukua kisu sasa, unaona. But kama ungekuwa mtu mwenye uko na maadili mema, umeweka your gospel music, hata hiyo music ya gospel yenyewe inatulizanga anga kama iko mzuri, alafu umesoma Bible yako, na hata kama ulikuwa umekasirika na umeomba, hizo ma feelings mbaya zinakutoka, unajua. So hata by the time your husband anakuja, you may not even talk much, but sasa if umetoka kwa mambo ya pombe, so we're having a problem in our society by the way of lack of morals. Pia it's like mambo za Mungu pia tumetupilia huko, juma pastors nao tena wamekuwa fake. So tumetupa Mungu nje pamoja nao mapastors fake. So these are the results anyway. These are the results. They are manifesting themselves. Ni vitu mingi compounded, and then also there's a lot of frustration because of the financial situation or the economy. So unakuta mtu akona frustration mingi because kama sasa huyu baba mwenye aliua msichana yake, surely how can you explain that ati juu mtoto apata D+, of which I'm highly suspecting huyo mwanaume pengine hata kusoma mwenye anapiga msichana juu alipata D+, mpaka amemuua. Sasa there he is going to jail. The other children who are there who are being provided for sahi wataenda tu hata hiyo masomo sasa sijui kama watasoma tena juu maybe he was the provider in the family. Sasa ameua msichana wake, what about his other children? Naona so hii kitu ya hasira, or maybe they need to be some kind of anger management also, because by the way Kenya is becoming a problematic country kwa family life manenos, because at the rate of the pregnant teens, unajua there are so many by the time Uhuru alikuwa anaongelea, alikuwa anasema there are over 1 million single mothers who are under the age of 18, between 10 and 18 wameshafika 1 million. So that can tell you where we are headed. We are not headed in the right direction. Something has to be done in terms of generally yani our family systems, our faith and all that. There's a lot that has to be done because venye tunaendelea, it's not good by the way. Back to you.
I think like Kenya, we are going on around the direction, and you speak something a little bit about the anger, and we normally see that every time that people goes react fast without thinking, that's when these all things are being caused up. For example, like you can ask, for example, like kuza shida wewe mama ambaye ameamua kuua bwana yake, ukikuchunguza vizuri utakuta it's not something that clear, but imemfanya tu kwa kuambiwa na yeye kumake uamuzi ambao ni mgumu ama uamuzi ambao hauna uafikio kamili. I feel like that's what the people that being the anger. And I just want briefly utuambie ni nini, what do you think that makes these people that in a marriage need to have these conflicts?
Okay, conflict, as long as there's human beings, haiwezi kosa conflict. Conflict is part of human beings. Juu ukiangalia hata the countries which have people who are the same, so okay, unaweza sema that people are clashing because of religion, kama kuna religions tofauti ama tribes tofauti. Kama our neighbors hapa Somalia wenye wamekuwa kwa vita throughout, they are the same religion and the same tribe. Hawana tribes mbili, wako na tribe tu moja, but you can see them. So conflict is inherent kwa human beings, but of course in marriage sana sana finances inakuanga kitu kubwa, and then of course infidelity. Sasa ukiangalia like some ladies, maybe the man is not even the one who is providing. Sasa mwanamke ndo huyo, she's feeling a burden of providing, and then you are probably also cheating on her. Sasa akiangalia hivyo, yeye amevumilia, yeye ndo ameshikilia familia in terms of financially, maybe you are not able to provide at that time, alafu sasa akupate ama ukuje nyumbani late, like that guy he came after some time, ni kama alikuwa nje. So unapata hiyo makasiriko. Na ule mwingine naye wa kuchoma nyumba Donholm, I understand there was another lady who the guy was pushing with. Sasa let's just be faithful in marriage, because unajua ukishafungulia mlango unfaithfulness inakujanga na shetani, inakujanga na mashetani yake. So that's why you see a lot of this love triangle, watu wanauana, because ukishafungua hiyo mlango, you know, you can think it's just fun, at I'm just having fun, let me just have a girlfriend or a boyfriend out here. Lakini ukishafungua hiyo mlango, you don't know what it will come with. So many cases you may come with people killing themselves, people killing their children. Unapata kama you are hata juzi, sijui ni juzi ama ni jana tena, niliona another lady amechoma, imagine alichoma watoto wake ndani ya nyumba because walikuwa wamekosana na bwana yake, sijui bwana yake alikuwa na cheat. So that's why I'm telling you, hii kitu ni kama spirit juu. Niambie, as a mother umestruggle kulea watoto wako, then you put them inside a house and you set the house on fire juu mmekosana na bwana, juu bwana ako na bibi mwingine, you know. So it's very obvious now that enyewe in terms of morals pia sisi we are having a problem, because hii mambo ya cheating now it is too much. Na hakuna kitu mbaya kama umejicommit kwa relationship fully na umeweka everything of yours in the relationship only to come and find out that mtu mwenye mko na yeye ako na mpango ya kando. That thing is very painful, and that's why you're finding mtu hata analipwa na akili, because by the time unaweza kuweka watoto ndani ya nyumba wachome watoto wako na wewe ndio mama, that goes to show it's like hata akili imeruka. So but what I think is that tukikuwa na strong faith in God, if at all we are more godly, I think hata ukipata bwanako ana cheat, at least hata unaweza fikiria okay, ama niende niongee na pastor, ama niende niombe, ama instead of the first thing that is coming to your mind ni venye unaweza haribu, venye unaweza choma nyumba, venye unaweza choma watoto, venye unaweza muua, venye unaweza jiua. Unajua those are satanic thoughts, which are thoughts of destruction. Juu hata ukifanya hivyo, it's not like it will change the situation that this person is cheating on you. In fact, if anything, sasa ndio wewe umeua watoto, umewachoma, then uende jela na endelee na huyo mwenye alikuwa na yeye. So people don't even think straight when they are doing some of these things. Ni kama mtu anakuanga amekuwa possessed by a demon, because hata ile, if you can remember, there was a case sometimes back ya headmistress mwenye aliua bwana yake because he was pushing with a lady, or ladies rather. So mama, it's like as soon as she found out that bwanake anamcheat, alikuwa wote wawili walikuwa principal, she started behaving in a manner like she's a mad person. And for me, that's why I'm saying, once you start entertaining infidelity in your relationship, I mean your marriage, you open a door, and what will come, you cannot control what will come through that door. Utafungua mlango, umefungulia shetani mlango, ndio hiyo amekuja na mapepo za. So the person that yani, even if you're not you are the one who is being cheated on, but it's like you're possessed by a demon. Sasa hiyo demon inataka tu uharibu, inataka tu uharibifu, just wants to destroy and to kill. So unapata kama mama mwenye alikuwa headmistress, she was there, she was behaving like a mad person. Mara amepeleka msichana kwa police station, then msichana akasema venye alipeleka kwa police station, akasema she's not the only person he's pushing it. So and she had planned to kill the girl, but sasa when the girl told her that, then she decided it's better to kill the husband. Sasa anafanya vitu zingine crazy, like anachukua wanaume anawapeleka kwa hiyo shule ya pali wa husband yake anafanya kazi usiku, like 3 AM mama sijui what time, some funny weird time, then anajaribu kuwekea bwana yake dawa kwa chakula, ikashindwa kufanya kuzima, so we have to be careful, because at times tunachukulianga so many things for granted, but so many things can go wrong. And a lot of, by the way, hata ukienda Lang'ata women's, majority of the women who are there, they are there because of hiyo mambo ya jealousy and kill, either you killed the woman ama you killed the man. So we have to be careful in terms of also not to provoke our partners, because kuna watu wenye they can't take that betrayal, it's too much for them, so they end up like, pia niliona sometime back, just recently, but sometime back, kuna msichana mwenye alistab the boyfriend, sijui alipata SMS kwa simu ama, then kuna ule msichana pia ako Miss Lang'ata, pia huyo naye aliua boyfriend juu ya kupata SMS from ladies. So unfaithfulness is a very key issue kwa hizi mambo. Of course finances are there, but I can say almost number 1 ni mambo ya unfaithfulness. Hata huyu jamaa mwenye unaona alikuwa anakatwa, chunguza tu vizuri, utajua either there is somebody who is cheating with sasa the woman akashikwa na hiyo, because okay, I'm not saying that mtu hawezi kukuattack for no reason, but it's highly unlikely. Lazima kukuwe na some catalyst yenye imefanya, of which it's not justified still. Hata kama you're cheating or your husband has cheated on you, you don't have a right to start hacking him with a knife. Or your wife has cheated on you, you don't have a right to pour hot water on her or those kinds of things, because that is you have an option of leaving the relationship if you feel like sasa mambo imeharibika sana, you can't stand to be there killing them. And you see the problem is sasa ukishamuua, have you solved the problem? You haven't solved the problem, you've created another problem, you've killed the person, then your own life you've also destroyed it, because unaenda jela for a long time. Kama sasa huyo msichana wa Miss Lang'ata, that lady is very brilliant, she got an A, but now unaona she's languishing in jail because of your hasira na hiyo jealousy ya kupata ma messages from women in the man's phone, and she stabbed him severally mpaka he died. And that man was a pilot. So unaona lives have been destroyed. She could have been a very big person sahi, maybe she could have been a doctor because alipata plane A. The guy naye ndo huyo pilot yake imeishia hapo. If they had children, say those children would be suffering, wangekuwa orphans. So it's very dangerous to just to not have self-control. You have to have self-control even in very difficult situation. Hata kama ukiona things are hard and you're feeling like you're going to do something bad, afadhali hata ujitoe hapo, jitoe, enda uchukue leave, enda ushago kwanza ukakul, because that is better than ukae hapo uwe mtu alafu nawe uende jela for the rest of your life. So if you're feeling like emotions zimekuzidi, don't react, don't be quick to react or to confront. We toka kwanza, jitoe tu from that situation, uende pahali fast, so that you can calm down fast, because so long as you are acting from emotion, you'll never make a good decision and the outcome will always be bad. Thank you.
Okay, all people have got that information, and I appreciate for those who are joining, for those who are on the comment section, and for those who are following us. Thank you. For those who are coming up, please invite somebody to join with and also give his or her opinions, so that we can also listen to them and we can know where it's going up. Kenya tumesema kugongeana ni constant. Public participation. If I can bring this in narrative, I just want to help the young men. So somebody saying that if this is what is it all about, marriage is a scam. I'm not supposed to be married. What can you telling, or how can you convince young man who is want to go in marriage and he sees like something like this and he sees that like marriage is a scam?
Okay, it's, you see, marriage itself is not a scam. The issue is the people involved. No. So marriage itself is just like water. Water inachukuanga the form of the container you'll put it. Ukiweka kwa container yenye iko square itachukua hiyo shape. Ukiweka kwa container yenye iko oval itachukua hiyo shape. So it's not marriage which is a problem. It's not marriage which is the scam. It's the person who is the scam. Because kama umeingia kwa marriage, you should understand that you have to respect the marriage. Huwezi behave ni kama venye ulikuwa na behave siku yenye ulikuwa single. You have to be committed to your marriage. You have to withstand with the rules. Zile vows yenye ulisema that will be faithful and all that. If you do it like that, as per the vows, it's not a scam, because kama sasa tumeona hii case ya this guy who's called Otuoma was buried today. The guy had a problem 4 years ago. Akashikwa na motor neuron disease and he became ridden, wheelchair ridden, so he could not do anything. Na bibi yake, she took her vows seriously, because when they got married in church, she said for better and for worse. Na hivyo ndio alichukulia hizo vows na akasimama na hizo vows, and she gave a guy a very dignified life yenye kama hangekuwa na yeye probably he might not have lived for 4 years, but she took the marriage seriously. But sasa kama ni ile you are just taking the marriage as a by the way, as a convenience time, and it's not convenient for you, ama you don't want to let go of your bachelor lifestyle, you still want to be going out, hanging out with your boys, you want to be holding on to your former girlfriends, all those things, you have to respect the marriage. If you don't respect the marriage, it cannot work. So if you yourself, you are a scam, if you yourself, you are a scam, the marriage will become a scam, because it's you who is making it a scam. But marriage itself, in and of itself, it's a very noble institution, and I can encourage, like, if you plan on having children, it's not fair to raise your children in 2 separate homes. Then when you are separate, you are, if you co-parent, that is, then wewe uko na bibi mwingine, the mother has another husband, even the child gets confused of what kind of situation or arrangement is this. The right arrangement is to be raised by your biological parents when they are together. No, that's the best situation. Yeah, and you have to respect the marriage. You see, now, even you as a man, if you used to be mtu wa kwenda out and all this, you have to let go of all those things, because now you have a family. The priority is your family, not those your friends who you go drinking with, or those girlfriends you had. So if you respect the marriage, it will also respect you, and it will protect you. So, like, one of the things which Otuoma, the little Otuoma wife, she's called Rachel, used to say is that the reason why I stayed with Otuoma even after he became ill kabisa mpaka he couldn't talk, he couldn't walk, he couldn't do anything for himself, is because when he was okay, when he was on his best days, he used to treat me very well. He used to treat me very well. He never used to show me madharau, because he's a football player and he can have many women love him and all that. He never showed me any madharau. He took very good care of me. He was very generous to me, and that's why saizi venye amepatikana na shida, I can also stand by him. Unaona? So in marriage, what you sow is what you're going to reap. Yeah. If you are sowing infidelity, you are cheating on your wife, you're bringing her diseases, you are disrespecting her, you are beating her, you are talking to her rudely, that is what you're going to reap when she now becomes wild. Then after that, you start saying marriage is a scam. How is it a scam? Can you tell Otuoma, may his soul rest in peace, that marriage is a scam? Angetoa wapi mtu mwenye angekaa na yeye amtakie care 24/7 for 4 good years? Hata mamake she may not have managed. So if marriage is a scam, where will you get somebody who can do such a thing for you other than in a marriage with someone who respects the marriage? So if the marriage is a scam to you, it's because you yourself, you're the scam. Ama your partner, whoever, you are the people who are making the marriage to be a scam. Otherwise, there's no way that marriage is a scam. How? But when you may respect ndoa, they don't have this kind of nasty incidences because you respect your spouse first of all. So if you don't respect your spouse, unafanya vile unataka, there is no respect in the house. Because like that situation, huyo mama mwenye alikuwa anakata huyo jamaa, you can see there's no respect in that house because hata huyo mama, under normal circumstances, will you find a mother who is drinking and dancing very funnily in front of the house help and in front of the children? It goes to show you hakuna heshima kwa hiyo nyumba, you know. Even the children themselves, this woman does not even respect the children, let alone the husband. She doesn't even respect the children because which example are you setting kwa watoto? Umeweka pombe hapo, umevaa baika, unakunywa pombe, ukidance some funny styles. Hata house help mwenyewe sahi, before the husband came in the situation, even the house help herself, she was looking confused, like what is happening today? What is happening? You know, I make a full volume, she's drinking, she's dancing to very bad music, you know. So what was his marriage is a scam. If you, and everything in life is like that. The way they say life is what will make it, even marriage is what will make it. Treat with decorum and with a lot of risk. Unaona kama akina Otuoma now, the way that woman took her marriage after the husband became sick and became bedridden, angefanya kitu yote. But like the way she treated that guy with a lot of dignity, with a lot of, hata sale alikuwa ako down kabisa, she would take him out, anampeleka kwa hoteli mzuri, ako anamficha tu kwa nyumba, you know. And that's how the whole world came to know that there's a guy who's called Otuoma. Mpaka she ended up being on TikTok. People came to know that there's a guy who's called Otuoma amepatwa na hii ugonjwa. The wife is struggling to take care of him. And people started helping them. Na sasa kama sahi venye walienda kufanya matanga, can you imagine that people contributed 5 million shillings? Kenyans contributed 5 million shillings because they showed a different picture of marriage. They showed both of them, let me say both of them, because also the guy, when he was okay, he also treated her with a lot of dignity and a lot of respect, and he treated her very well. And that's why when things became bad, she didn't leave, because most of the time watu wanasemanga bibi anatoroka, but you don't want to say before atoroke, siku yenye ulikuwa sawa, before upate accident ama upate ugonjwa, how are you treating her? Ulikuwa unamistreat, ulikuwa unamwonyesha madharau, ulikuwa unampea anything. She was just like a single married person. And then sasa hivi venye umeshikwa na shida, you're expecting her to be good to you. How? So these people, they carried their marriage with a lot of decorum, and the society also responded in kind. That umetuonyesha a good picture of what marriage is. We even help you during the send-off. We even help you to build for the guy Simba at his home. Amejenga nyumba mzuri sana na imejengwa tu akiwa mgonjwa, but Kenyans contributed. Unaona? And they even got the lady got inaitwa brand ambassador, na pia some companies like I think it was Odibet, some hizi companies za kubet pia they came in, but you see they could not have come in kama the people who were in the marriage are misbehaving. No. But the way walikuwa wamebeba their marriage with dignity, and the dignity with which Rachel carried Otuoma for the last 4 years when he was completely indisposed, it changed everything, you know. It made And that respect is what caused the society to accord them that respect and that assistance that they were according them, because they were showing them that marriage, a marriage which is full of dignity and love. Unaona? Lakini sasa ingekuwa drama nini kama hizi zenye tunaona, yenye it's one thing after the other, mara sijui mmefanya vituko gani, even the people around you cannot respect your marriage or you see. So kusema marriage is a scam, wewe sema tu wewe ndio scam na you people you are the scam, because other people, how comes kama hiyo ya kina Utoma, you right now you are not even coping with somebody who ako sawa, nyinyi wote mko sawa, mko na pesa, you are able body, hakuna mwenye ni mgonjwa. Sasa shida ikikuja tayari, when you are under normal circumstances you are not coping. What about mmoja akigonjeka, what happens? So people need to take the institution of marriage seriously. I think where we have gotten in society, it's like trivialize marriage. Imekuwa tu, any people don't respect marriage. Let's just put it that way. And like our parents who really respected marriage, even if a man was cheating, he'll make sure that the wife will never find out. Hakuna siku utampata ameenda huko nje akazana mwanamke mwingine. He will make sure that if he has side chick, hata side chick ana respect bibi, hawezi pigia bibi simu amtusi. But nowadays hata unakuta bwana mpaka analeta side chick kwa nyumba. Sasa is that a marriage? And then now after that, when your wife kills you, ama burns the house, ama she does something crazy, kwa usema marriage is a scam. Na ni wewe ndo mwenye you are reaping what you sowed. You sowed corruption and you have reaped death. Then you are coming to say marriage is a scam. How? It's you who is a scam. Thank you.
Thank you, Paulie, for helping us to understand and to get to know more about this. I appreciate for those who are joining and then see on the comment section. Gitonga saying so sad. It is so sad indeed because this is so bad. Please let us share it and also let us learn to cooperate and to speak to one another, because everything that is going on, everything has a solution. So let us not allow the jealousy in us without checking out things clearly make us to do wrong thing and make us to do a deviation, which is so bad, because other things they are being done because out of the deviation that we take. So I urge everyone on the comment section that we are moving swiftly, as even we are almost come to the conclusion. I welcome for those who are joining, so that don't stay there until you wait to the last minute. Now you want to come and you want to speak more than enough time. So please join up right now so that we can have the conversation together. We can complete the conversation together so that we move swiftly. Let me ask also the public participation one question before we continue, before we come to close up. Also, there's this issue that is being raising up, and we have seen it. We speak about that for somebody to say marriage is a scam, you are the scam. You are the one with the problem. Marriage has no any problem. So I just want to give a small, just your opinion on about the deviation on what is it when or what's supposed to be done when a man is being insulted or being in gender-based violence. Maybe some of them they fear to speak because of the culture, but what can be your advice to them? Just briefly before we come to the closer.
Okay, me I advise any man who is undergoing domestic violence to leave the relationship as soon as possible, because domestic violence, it keeps on escalating. Today I will call you stupid, tomorrow I'll call you a dog, the next day I slap you, the next day I throw a cup at you, the next day I throw hot water on you, the next day I stab you, the next day I kill you. So if you are in a domestic violence situation, you need to get out, whether you're a man, you're a woman, or even there's children involved. It's very dangerous. You are playing Russian roulette with your life. So it's not even a matter of going to report to police station. You need to remove yourself from a toxic relationship, because ikifika hiyo point yenye mtu anakuinulia mkono, the next thing atakuua. And if wanaweza kukuinulia mkono, that means hata sele umelala, you are not safe, because mutalala na kona hasira, amke aende achukue kisu akudunge and you are asleep. You have had those cases whereby men are being removed transformer. It's because the man came in the house when he's drunk. Then when he was asleep, because utajiuliza alitolewa aje nini transformer, kwani alikuwa wapi ikitolewa? Amelala. So when you are with somebody who you cannot trust them with your well-being, they are beating you, that's not somebody to stay in the same house with. Because you can no longer feel safe with such a person, and you'll end up sleeping at one time or another, maybe ulali. Na akidecide hiyo ndo time yenye sasa anataka kukuua, what will you do? So domestic violence situation is not a situation whereby inaweza kuencourage ati just stay there. Vitu zingine tunaweza jaribu kuvumilia, but that one can't, because it's akin to committing suicide. And the truth about violence is that it escalates. Usione ati unachapa makofi ufikirie itaachwa hapo. Na hata wale watu wengi wenye wameua their spouses, they were not planning on killing the spouse. Ni venye alikuwa amezoea kumtupia teke, kumtupia nini, mpaka siku ingine inaenda inaishia kwa kifo sasa. It started with a slap. So ukiona mtu amerudia kitu mara moja, 2, 3, 5 na inaendelea kuescalate, just leave the situation, leave. Juu maisha yako haina replacement, haina spare. So kama ni marriage itakufanya ukufe, basi toka kwa hiyo marriage. There's no point of you being there. And you know, the moment when you condone bad behavior in a relationship, you're encouraging it. Huyo mtu hata when they'll go to somebody else, they'll be knowing that I used to beat my wife and she was just staying, or my husband. So ata expect the same thing. Lakini akianza hizo vituko na umuondokee, she'll get the message that that is not acceptable. That's not the way to behave in a relationship. Lakini sasa ukimwonyesha it's okay, wacha tu nikae, you're encouraging that bad character in them. You'll not give them time to come back to their senses and think, what am I is what I'm doing wrong or not? This person has left me now. I need to look inward to change myself. Lakini when you're still there, ataendelea tu, and then in the end atakufanyia kitu ingine unbelievable. Then at the end of the day, he or she will go to jail. So unaona hata wewe mwenyewe hujamsaidia, ungemuondokea, ungemsaidia, because then you'll have saved them from going to jail. Naona mkora Mkenya amekuja. Chaendeleze.
Mkenya mkora kama dawa.
Yeah, brother.
Happy to see you today. Hapa leo tumeamua kutetea boy child. Boy child tumeingia kwa mashida.
Eti?
Leo tumeamua kutetea boy child. Unaweza amuka usubuhi kuta una transform.
Ni mimi internet yangu mbaya ama ni
internet yako ndio mbaya? Hebu refresh alafu urudi.
Nasikika?
Wewe unasikika, lakini sasa wewe ndio
ngoja, nasikika saizi?
Uko sawa hapo.
Sasa nakusikia. My dear, public participation, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, dear. How are you?
I'm good. I hope God is keeping you well.
Yes.
Hebu refresh
That
hiyo nini yako, browser yako inagwamagwama, sijui kwa nini.
Haya, wacha ni refresh narudi basi.
Thank you for those who are watching. Naona comment section inazidi kuchangamka. Mwingine anasema very true, public participation unaungwa mkono hapa. Na nazidi kuwakaribisha nyote ambao mko huko kando kando, mupo kando kando, karibuni nyote, kuzidi kudadavua na kuzidi kuchanganua masuala zaidi, manake mengine yanazidi kukua, mengine yanazidi kusonga mbele, na kila nawasihi tu wacha tutumie hiyo link ambayo kwa comment section vizuri ya kuingia kwa studio, na nawasihi tafadhali, Soundcard channel yetu ilifanywa ile kitu, so tumerejesha, na nawaomba tu tafadhali muweze kurudi subscribe tafadhali. Link ndio iko kwa comment section. Soundcard Tech logo yake ni ya blue. Link iko kwa comment section zote. Wewe ambao mnatazama Soundcard Tech live, link pia iko hapo kwa comment section, ibonyeza tu na uweze kusubscribe tena, ili tuweze kusonga mbele pamoja na tuweze kukua mbele pamoja tunapozidi kudadavua haya masuala, manaka hili swala la kusikitisha zaidi. Wacha tazame hii video tena mara nyingine, tukingojea tukijiunga pamoja na sisi.
Na nikichukua usicomplain. Nataka uniue. Nataka uniue. Okay, you see I'm bleeding. So if I attack you, it's a self-defense. Nataka uniue. Nataka uniue. So anything I do, self-defense. Nataka uniue. Okay. Ni vizuri. Inaonekana mimi nataka hivi ndio nikifanya against react kwa nijue ni self defense. Okay. Okay. Continue. Wewe unasema kitu watu tuongee. Watu waongee. Hata kunipigia wewe.
Ni hivyo yamejiri leo, na mengine mingizo umeweza kutokea. Hebu niambie ni yapi ambayo yanakukumba na wewe mahali ambapo ulipo, na tuweze kusonga mbele pamoja, ili tuweze kudadavua kiundani na kuweza kuweka Kenya yetu kuwa mbele pamoja, manake hapa tunayazungumza yote yanayojiri, ili tuweze kujenga Kenya, tusonge mbele pamoja. Viongozi wetu nao wanasema nini? Manake tunaona hili swala viongozi wamenyamaza. Hebu nipe public participation, tukingojea Mkenya mkora akuje. Public participation tangu haya maneno yote yatokee na hayo yote ambayo yanajiri, kiongozi yupi amejitokeza na kuongea kuhusiana hili swala, ama bado amelinyamaza tu?
Hawa viongozi wenye tuko nao, una expect wanaweza saidia mtu na kitu yote? Sahii ni kula tu, wako busy wanakula huko. Hawana haja na Wakenya na shida zenye zinawakumba. It's only nani Ruto ndio naona ameweka group hapo. Sasa watu 42 ni wanini? Na hao watu wote watalipwa pesa. No, this guy, I don't know. In any case, yeye mwenyewe is also another one mwenye anafanyanga gender based violence. So hata sielewi, ni kama vyenye anashinda hapa akituambia atufundishani watoto tabia mzuri, na mtoto yake ndio huyo ako na matatu yenye inafanya venye inataka kwa barabara, mpaka ina endanger people's lives, and then ako hapa anakuja kutuambia ati Kenyans amfundishi watoto wenu tabia mzuri. Sasa watoto wake ndio wako na tabia mzuri. Him himself is also another one who is an abuser. So how is he abuses the wife? So how is he going to lead the war against gender based violence? Naye mwenyewe is the mastermind of all kind of violence. Hata wachana gender based, he has violence against Gen Z. Ndio huyo anawakidnap every now and then. Kwanza umeona hiyo video, huyo jamaa mwenye alikuwa na abductiwa, alafu huyo jamaa mwenye alikuwa na muabduct akatoa gun, venye watu walijaribu kumuokoa. Umeona hiyo video?
Waliona wanawazuia. Wacha huyo mwalimu. Watu wabaya waja.
Something. Gari or something.
Hakuna mwezekani. Uongo. Aje sio tumsaidie. Ani abdata sawa bana.
Ni hivyo Kenya kumechemuka. Kenya hamtaki mchezo.
Sasa hiyo ni nini?
Mkenya mkora.
Hebu nichezee hiyo video tena. I think nilikuwa na switch kutoka kwa by the way, nasikika saizi?
Sahi uko sawa, tunakupata.
Okay, nilikuwa na change kutoka kwa nini, kwa data to wifi. Hebu chezea hiyo video tena. Uko kwa, with all due respect.
Leo ni scenario mingi tu. Wacha kwanza tuanze na hii ndio tupie upate.
Mbona wanawazuia? Hata huyo kwa nyuma. Watu wabaya waja.
Wamgonge gari or something. Si wafanye hakuna mwezekani. Uongo. Sio tumsaidie. Aje sio tumsaidie. Ani abdata sawa bana.
Ni hivyo kumechemuka Kenya.
You see, that's what I my dear sister and Shedi, kama dawa. This is total utter nonsense. So basically tunaambiwa in Kenya, mimi na Shedi na public participation tunaweza shikana tu tuchukue kagari pale hivyo ka probox, na kwa sababu jamaa fulani kuna kitu tunataka kuongea naye, tuende tumshike tumuingize kwa gari just because you look like us. This, I mean, I don't get it. At that time, by the way, I've come to a point of saying that maybe it's about time that Kenyans bear arms. We pass a law that kila mtu akwe na gun, because if I shoot someone like that one and anikumanisha kwa gari hivyo, are you going to take me to any court of law? In what case? How did I know you did not even hukuniambia ulikuwa polisi? Yani unataka jambazi tu. And Kenyans, what are they doing? What happened to mob justice? Mi sijui muniambie, because kitu kama hiyo yezi fanyika hivi unashika mtu tu na msukuma ndani ya gari na watu wanatembea tu. Yani tumeuziwa uoga to a point that hata mob justice haiko. You know, kitambo hata time ya Moi, you couldn't just grab Shedi on the road at tu mwingiza kwa gari. My friend, utapigwa.
Mkenya mkora.
Yes.
Let me address somebody hapa kidogo. Kuna msa anauliza, before you take, do you know what's going on there? Na nataka nimumpe tu scenario. Juzi rais alisema aje, like everything should follow the law. Na sahi Mkenya mkora, hata kama nimeiba ama mimi ni mwizi, number one, inafaa kuja na arresting warranty. Sawa sawa? Inafaa ukuje na ukiwa ndani ya uniform. Inafaa ukukuja bila na nguo ya raia. Then you don't have to catch me forcefully. Wewe umevaa raia, unaambia tu watu ni mwizi. Hauna arresting warranty. Hiyo si abduction?
It is abduction, brother. And it's not even abduction. I don't know kwa nini watu wanatumia abduction. That's thuggery. You can't just walk in the streets hivi tu watu unaokota mtu unamtupa. I was in a public, I was in a group somewhere. Nikauliza watu, yani Kenya, and this was Spice FM. Nikauliza, kwani imefika mahali that as long as, I mean, arrest is being pushed into a car and then it speeds off. Is that an arrest? An arrest is that unakuja mimi ni polisi, this is the case that we have, tafadhali put your hands behind your back, you're going. Hakuna mtu atakataa. Lakini unakuja kuokota. I mean, which kind of a world are we living? This, it looks like a cartel world. Sasa kama mtu anasukumanishwa huko hivyo, yeye anajuaje kaza hao ni mapolisi? Ningekuwa na gani na washoot wote.
Acha nikwambie Mato, sasa kuna kesi yenye iko ya a lady who, okay, a CDF chairman kwa Rarieda constituency. So he had a house help akamimpregnate. So after venye mtoto amekuja akamfukuza. So msichana akaenda kwa children's court. So venye alienda kwa children's court ku ask for child support. Unajua huyu msichana aliabductiwa na mtoto na hakuna mwenye anajua mtoto ni 11 months. Hakuna mwenye anajua pali wako, and they were abducted in the same manner. So you see this behavior is now escalating to other areas. Unaona? Sasa imekuwa ile Mato, if I have beef with you, sasa inaweza kukuabduct because after all tuwezi jua kama ni mimi ni polisi ama mimi ni adui yako ama ni nini, but it's now being mainstreamed. Ukikuwa na beef na mtu unamuabduct until further notice, either umrudishe kama amekufa ama akiwa alive. That's where we are now. That's how we are solving.
And in fact, my dear, you know, in let me say it, civilized countries, because I think we are still backwards. We're Stone Age kabisa, yani. I don't even understand these things. Do you understand? Yes, it's true. Even huku kwingine, and I know you know it. Hata wewe Shedi najua. Huku kwingine outside the world, utapata, yes, it's true. There is always undercover. There's always, you know, plain clothes. But do you know, once the case has been done and they've seen their suspect, they can never arrest them. They call for uniformed police to come and arrest. As an undercover, you cannot arrest anyone. You call for a uniformed person to come and arrest. Yes, you're the one running the show, but the only person mwenye atakweka hiyo pingu ni mwenye amevaa nguo. Because at the end of the day, guess what? Mimi kesho nitaenda nishike mtu niwaambie mimi ni polisi nimeshika mtu, na kumbe ni mtu nilikuwa napigana nao. Coming back to what mlikuwa mnaongea hiki tu ya nini, which imenifanya nikaingia, but sasa hii pia imenikera, which is something imekuwa ikinikera sana. Why people are getting arrested by people? Kwanza mtu hajavaa nguo za polisi na amejifunika uso, hata huwezi muona. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Any thug can do that. But coming back to hiki tu ya domestic violence, public participation, I know you're very you understand what I'm going to say, even though najua itakurab kidogo. What is really domestic violence? And this goes back to even in our political structure. One thing, like yesterday I was fighting with Esther Passaris akiuko in Nini Spice, because first of all, this thing of women rep, for me, it's gone in my mind. I think it's useless, nonsense, stupidity of all cases. Good governance, you have an elected person. And that's why I like people like Kina Mili Mamboka, people like Kina Rosabuyu, people like Wanga, people like anyway, I don't know about this, but hata tuongea juu ya uwa Machakos wa Vinyandeti, ladies that actually go in there and get elective seats. Now, domestic violence has come to a point like you guys were talking about. I saw that video that you guys were talking. Ndio imenivuta hapa. That lady hata anaenda nafunga mlango, anajaribu kukata jamaa, Jamaa ameshika pilo ya kiti anamwambia na nikichukua hiyo kitu usiende kupiga kelele. Na ana aim hata kichwa. Jamaa akiweka pilo juu anaenda kwa miguu. The guy is bleeding to a point that he had to bring her down. Now he didn't kill her. He just took the knife off. But you can imagine if that video, that CCTV camera was not there. Do you know huyo jamaa angekuwa amefanyika nini? The whole community would have come down on him. So am I saying that kuna men that actually misuse their masculinity? Yes, they are. But also, how does it start? And because there's this thing after Geneva Convention where ilifika mali, okay, the society protects the women and the kids, which is very right because the men anazajisimamia kidogo. But also the women are very provocative and some of them have become actually lethal. Dem anaweza kuua na ama anaweza kuumiza, lakini wende utaenda jela. Why? Because you're a man. Ask myself or ask yourself, how many domestic violences end up in the lady being convicted? Some men utapata mtu hata anaweza chapwa na demu yake kabisa ama adungwe kisu, lakini hawezi enda kuripoti. Ukienda kuripoti utachekwa na makara wenyewe. And they won't even take that. So you find like the boy child has gone down. And it's the reason when you look at our governance, you have women rep. You don't have men rep. Everything is about the women. Now, should it be like that? I mean, yes, women and kids are supposed to be protected. But again, it's gotten so far that at 2 years ago, kulikuwa na hii something that people were saying kukula fair. Ama you hear my dress, my choice. Or you hear pesa yako ni yetu na yangu ni yangu.
Kugongewa ni constant. Kugongewa ni constant.
Ndio hiyo. And people do not understand that eventually it goes to the psychological health of the society. Because it seems like watu wengine wako pale. Na ndio hiki tu unaona hata saizi. If you look at it psychologically, you will find that unapata hata hizi unaona mtu akisukumwa kwa gari. Hebu ndo usukume mwanamke aingie kwa gari hivyo. Utaona kila mtu amesimama anakimbiza anasema hapana uweze mshika hivyo sijui nini. But unaona mwanaume yeye atasukumanishwa huko, kila mtu anaenda ziara zake. I don't know what you guys are saying. I'm just saying it's a decay in society and we are playing with fire because one time, like there's been these memes of 2025. Sijui kama nyinyi mnaangalianga uto. Kila mtu anasema 2025 nikiona mwanamke natoka mbio, na kuna mtume yako unaona jamaa ametoka mbio kwa sababu wameangaliwa na mwanamke. Why are we getting to a point where we are divided?
Wanaume mama kufocus.
Hatutaki, you know, at the end of the day, the societal norms eventually end up into our leadership norms. Zinafika huko juu tu. If we have a decayed society, a society that is leaned in one way, then eventually you will always get, in laws of physics, is that every action, action force, there always have to be a reaction force. It might not come today, it might not come tomorrow, but one day at least we have to have a balance somewhere. I guess that's my points. Jika nime make points zangu clear. Public pole na shedi kama dawa. Sijui kama kuna kitu nimesema mtu ataka kuuliza swali. Niko na mingi lakini wacha ninyamazie hapo nisichome.
Wewe choma tu, mtu atakukujia.
Huyu hawezi kanyaga huku, atakuja. Niko na Trump.
Tunakungojea tu, utakuja tu.
Atakufunga.
Hapo kwa airport. Hautatoka airport my friend. She'll
Ujue
abduct you in the airport. Utatoka tu hivi ukivyenye umefika tu hivi unafikiria ni taxi. Unavurutwa haraka haraka ushawekwa kwa gari. Mazi hii imekuwa gangsters paradise. Yaani unagrabiwa tu unaingizwa tu kwa gari, alafu sasa mbona huyo jamaa venye anajaribu kutoa kichwa, I think kuna mtu alikuwa ndani amemshika miguu ndio alikuwa anashindwa kutoka. Sasa kichwa ameshikwa mguu hii side ya ndani, alafu sasa anajaribu kutoka through kichwa. Huyu jamaa anatoka anakuja kumrudisha kichwa kwa gari. Hey, what kind of a picture is that? Hata other countries which are seeing this, what are they thinking about this country? Yani Ruto ametureduce. He has really reduced us to even be a laughing stock of other countries. And the way at least tulikuwa tumefika somewhere, at least we are known to be a bit civilized. Sasa we are back again to mambo zingine hata hazieleweki. So hiyo story na domestic violence, what I can say, Mato, unajua hii country tumekuwa lawless. Let's just accept. We have become lawless and hata ukitaka kucommit crime Mato, if you have some bit of money which you know you can bribe the police, there is nothing which is going to be done because police station kwanza imekuwa place ya kwenda kulipishwa sasa pesa ingine. Leta pesa ndio tufanye hii, and then they call the other person na pia yeye wanamuitisha pesa. So people don't even respect ati naweza kukupeleka mbele, si unipeleke. Najua I'll just bribe my way out, you know. But hii lawlessness yenye tunaona, whereby there's a lot of lawlessness, sio kwa families, sio kwa mashule. The other day there was a case while people are doing KCSE, kijana ameuliwa by his peers because ati sijui aliiba bangi yenye ilikuwa kwa box ya mtu. Sasa you even start to wonder, in a boarding school watu wako na bangi kwa box. Sasa yeye akaenda akaiba hiyo bangi, sijui alipeleka wapi. So when he was unable to produce it, wakamuua. So it has become na sasa kama leo tumeona hiyo case ya the father who has killed the daughter because she got D+ in KCSE. Results zimetoka. So there is a lot of lawlessness in this country. Yani watu wamedecide tu kuishi, kila mtu afanye vile anataka, unaona. And you see that happens when people don't have, you see that's why the law is there so that it can deter you. Sahi naweza kuwa na beef na wewe, but I will not attack you ama I'll not shoot you because naogopa naweza fungwa. Lakini the moment when I lose that fear of that if I do something to you nitafungwa, if I'm like I think I have money I can bribe my way through, I'll just do whatever I want, you know. And that's what people have come to realize, that unaweza fanya chenye unataka.
But sis wacha nikuulize swali. Ukipata someone that can go kill a lady that is actually pregnant, a school or university, wacha tuseme school, let's put it, I mean huyu ni mtu amekomaa, a school going or university going kid, or you know, lady with all esteem, kill them and walk scot-free. If you have someone who can go on a campaign trail, a lady, you know the names that I'm talking about, go kill someone in their own house on a campaign trail and go scot-free. You have another one who has had a corruption, actually is convicted and still goes scot-free. Now, icing on the cake, you have someone who is accused even by international community that I'm just saying Kiamba, mi sijaita mtu jina, mi nisikuje kuwako hapo venye mmesema nishikiwe airport, but mi sijasema mtu Kiamba, people goes and watu wamekufa huko hivyo, and they even go to a point that even all the witnesses disappear. So what stops you from making money and knowing that you can do everything that you have to do, or I mean that you want to do, and you can go scot-free just because you have the money to walk away through the system? When you have the Ombetsas, the Omaris, in the name of lawyers, that for you even to crucify, I mean, for you to get drug cartels that are well known in the world has to come and actually abduct and grab those people at night and go and extradite them to New York. And I'm talking about the Akasha brothers, to New York, and out there they can get their justice and go to jail. When you have the chicken gate, where the partners or the people that were there, the ones in UK were convicted and did their time, but the ones in Kenya are still roaming around. So when it becomes a country of crooks. As long as you have the money, you will walk away. Lakini kale kamtu ka kuku tu pale, kuku tu, hata maybe alikuwa ameichukua tu arudishe, amepatana nao kwa barabara irudishe, mpate pale hivyo mnasema ameiba. Naye alikuwa anairudisha kule imetoka kozi imepotea nyumbani. Anairudisha kozi anasema, hii ni ya public participation, wacha nimrudishie. Anaishikia huko. And then unampata nao mnachapa mnaua. Na wengine wenye wako na hiyo pesa kwa sababu anaendesha V8, huyo sasa huyo ati mnapelekana naye koti. And you wonder even these lawyers, the Ombetsas, the Dunstan Omaris, how they get these cases so quick. And some of the cases that they get, you don't even understand how are they hired. What I'm trying to say here, it's a cartel, it's a cartel thing. In public, you remember one time I said here, kwanza pale Kilimani, na si Kilimani peke yake, there's this area where that kina Joey, where they were having that issue. That area has become a money laundering place that I wouldn't even want to live there. Because huko ndio, yani kila mahali saizi imekuwa tu ni bora uko na pesa, bora uko na nini, you will be scot free. Unasikia mtu amepewa ati bond ya 700 million na bado ametoa wapi hiyo 700 million? Are you serious? Haya.
Alafu akishatoa bond hiyo story imeisha hivyo, utamuona kotini tena. Public participation, kwa nasema aje?
Koti ya nani awarudingi, inakuwaga imeisha, sijui utasikia 27th, sijui nini, and then imeenda hivyo na imeenda, and then the next day bado ndio ana run for a seat, hata kama hata run, ati anawekwa sijui advisor. Advisor of who? Advisor of what?
Well, hii nchi wacha nikwambie Mato. In fact, I was telling someone the other day that make sure usiwahi kuwa in a position whereby you need the police or you need to go to a court of law. As much as possible, jaribu avoid hizo vitu mbili like the plague, because sasa hiyo ndo utajua that these are playground of, a mafia playground where people do whatever they want. And in fact, you should even be afraid of police instead of going to them when you have a problem. You should fear them because they also other crooks. Wanaweza kuplantia hata bangi kwa nini ndio wakutoanishe pesa. Unafikiri unaenda kusaidiwa wakuorganizie kitu ndio utoe pesa. I mean, it's crazy. Kenya imekuwa a very lawless country until I'm like, so lawless. Na sasa ndio unaona hata watu wako na guts ya kufanya vitu zenye wanafanya juu wanajua kwani utanipeleka? Well, what will you do? And now, the other problem which that brings is that if I'm having beef with you, Mato, instead of using the lay down procedures like me niko na beef na wewe nikupeleka kwa police twende kotini, I'll opt to get somebody to shoot you and finish you. Because why should I go to the cops when I know they'll just start asking me for money and ridicule me, and tukienda kotini the case will take how many years, file itashinda ikipotea, the judge unaweza mbribe. So the best thing, yani people, but then, and nowadays that's what is happening. Squeezy kusettle scores ni moja kwa moja, hakuna time ya kwanza sijui kuita polisi. Sasa ukikuwa na beef na mtu, it's just a matter of offloading them, hakuna kitu kingine. That's what, and that's, unaona kama wase wa wash au wase wote wa wash wote wenye walikuwa naiba makadi za watu, ma debit card na credit card za watu, you saw the way they were killed, kwanza in a very brutal manner. Hakuna mtu mwenye anaenda kwa cops sahi, cause imekuwa tu kitu kama nini, it's like what, it's just kwenda kwa cops sahi ni kama tu kufanya kazi bure, na hakuna mahali hiyo kitu itaenda. I can assure you, kitu yenye umepeleka kwa polisi, utashangaa hata utageuziwa huko. Yani nobody just trusts the system anymore because of the way it's become so filthy. Sasa kama story ya Didmas Baraza, the other day I was seeing DCI wameweka kwa page ati can you give information at how we can get this person. Sasa nikashindwa, so polisi wanaweza tafuta mtu mwenye, kama leo nimesikia there is a worker of Java ya restaurant, ati during maandamano alikuwa anapea watu maji. Sasa the guy has been abducted, so you can be able to trace a Java worker who a staff of Java who was giving protesters water, but you can't trace where Didmas Baraza is. Unatuandikia kwa page hapo that if you have any information how we can get this guy, he's wanted for murder charges, call this toll-free number.
Wewe kwanza unaongea, by the way I saw that case and thank you for bringing that up. Hata ilikuwa imenipotelea kupea mtu maji na kama anapigwa tear gas, what's the problem? But also nataka ukumbuke kesi ingine fulani hapo ipo ilikuwaga ya and tunaijua sisi wote Kwari, please my dear and Ashedi, muniambie wale watu, ule jamaa kama ameua watu wengi hivyo, ule wa Kwari mshaimpata?
Hakuna mtu aliua watu, hakuna.
Na si walisema alitoroka nini, what I mean, I don't know how he escaped jela, na hadi wale hakuna mtu semanga kama ashaipatikana ama hajaipatikana. How do you get these guys, even the bloggers, how do you get kina Kibet Bull?
That's what I'm telling you, Matu. It's an insult to to our intelligence for DCI page to put posts at we are looking for Didmas Baraza, at piga call the toll-free line to give us more information. Fichua kwa DCI. I'm like, oh, so you can't be able to trace this Didmas Baraza, but you can be able to trace a worker of Java for giving people water, for giving protesters water. You will trace him and you go and abduct him. Lakini kutafuta Didmas Baraza munatuwekea hapo ati fichua kwa DCI. If you have seen this guy, kwani ameenda wapi? These people wanapenda kutuchezea akili sana. They want to insult the intelligence of Kenyans. Didmas Baraza, if they want to catch him, they can't catch him. So they have to now tell us, the same way walituambia ati there's a reward if you can find that guy who is supposedly the one who killed watu wa Kware. And meanwhile, they are busy intimidating the person who was removing the bodies. This country, mpaka unashindwa, what kind of a country is this, seriously? Can you imagine that guy, they tried to abduct him, ni venye tu alimanage akaponyoka. Alisaidiwa na watu. Walikuwa wanataka kumabduct. Huyo jamaa mwenye alikuwa anatoa mili kwa Kware. In fact, now he cannot even talk. He doesn't talk to any news, whatever, or anything. Ameenda into hiding because his life is in danger. Juu yeye ndo alikuwa anaona hizo mwili. Those bodies, many of them had marks za Colgate kwa uso. So this guy, it's like they wanted to shut him down, like asiseme chenye aliona, so that those bodies will not be linked to the protests. But now they tried to abduct him, but alisaidiwa tu na watu wenye walikuwa around hapo. So you know, when you are dealing with a mafia state like what we are having now, sahi hata wewe mwenye unafanya kitu mzuri, like now that guy alikuwa amejitolea, anaenda tu kutoa hizo mwili yako na mambo mingi, but now the people, the perpetrators who are behind it, they are scared that anaweza enda aseme that hizi mwili niliziona zilikuwa na this and this mark. So they are trying to, they intimidated him. By the way, walikuwa nataka kumabduct, just imagine. As for that guy called Jumaisi hakuna mtu aliua. Huyu kijana hakuna mtu aliua. You cannot tell me that mtu anaweza kuwa anakuja kuleta mwili day after day and the quarry is next to the police station 100 meters. Na hakuna mtu ashai notice huyu jamaa anakujanga kuleta vitu hapo. So the guy, and he'll never be found. That one I can assure you. Na Gigiri, wacha nikwambie, Gigiri police station is one of the most tight. Unajua places zenye iko na tight security, that place has a lot of tight security. Jamani kuachiliwa aliachiliwa, or else alipelekwa Uganda sijui.
Hata ukisema exactly. Thank you that you brought up that. I have some experience in matters of security, and either Kenya or not Kenya. But remember the embassy of the US, where is it at? Swali kwako?
Sini Mombasa Road ama?
No.
Not Mombasa Road?
Yeah, it's in Mombasa Road, but do you remember it used to be in Gigiri, but they never left. They have a sub hapo hivyo.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So basically, and actually it's not just the US. I think there's a couple of ziko tu hapo hivyo. That area is very secure. You're not living like that. And anyways, we don't even have to depend on other embassies or other countries to be for some place to be secure. You are in a police station. You're not just living. How do you live? How did you even get out? Did you cut ulikata hizo zinaitwaje the chuma? I mean, you walked out. How? So that tells what about our countries? It tells us that then it's a very insecure country. If somebody can just walk out of a police station and just disappear in thin air. And by the way, normally I remember one time Nakuru police station. I think this was Bahati, somewhere there, Bahati, Nakuru. 7 or 8 people walitoroka. Those guys were rounded up within I don't know how long. Now, let me ask you, let me even go back to just nonsensical kind of way of conversing on this thing. Do you remember Washosho? When one of Guy Disugu, sijui Washosho, sijui Rasta, Wanogu, walikuwa wanaokotwa kila mahali, wako tu wanapatikana tu bado. Are you telling me this guy that was caught somewhere watching football, that is the one that has been told that sijui alikatakata watu na akatupa kwa quarry? You want to tell me that you can't even get him? Yet mulipata kina Washosho, people who had money, people who could even steal, wanaeka G4S chini, wanachukua pesa yote na wanapotea Uganda, wanatupa magari na huko na and everything. These guys were very sophisticated. I mean, talk about this guy, the one that has written, the Mwizi Sugu kabisa, the one that has written books. Mwenye alikuja akaokoka. Very famous in our, nani atanikumbusha hii jina?
John Kiriamiti.
John Kiriamiti. Yes, kama hata mulipata mtu kama John Kiriamiti, and when you look at his stories, you know, my life in crime na nini, and when he talks about his thing, you can understand this is a guy. And what time was this? Hii ni kitambo hata
There were no
kukuwa social.
mobile.
Yeah,
There were no mobile to give you triangulation ya pali mtu wako.
exactly, hakukuwa hata translation, hakukuwa sijui Safaricom, hakukuwa hata watu wako wana masimu. But then they got him CID, they bado wakampata. So now you telling us saizi that you can triangulate and get nani you know, Kibet Bull and these other guys that are kwa M-Pesa, hata mtu akienda kunyolewa and sijui ako hapa na mumempata. Now that you can't even get somebody that actually you claim has killed so many people from at the quarry. I mean, seriously, I must be munirudishe nursery school. Maybe I skipped a class somewhere. Munirudishe nursery school, my dear, and Shedi. Munirudishe mniambie kama kuna kitu niliruka, maybe unajua, maybe maturing
Uliruka
too early.
klasi ya kuwa mwizi.
So you see, it's nonsense. Anyway, acha
Unajua
nisikize.
Mato, unajua history ya this guy called Jumaisi. Things, you know, they had planned vyenye wataipeleka, but things fell apart. Si huyu jamaa, in fact, I'm highly doubting if that guy is even Kenyan, because si unajua investigative journalist wa Kenya venye wanakwaga, as soon as the guy was arrested, they retraced his roots. They retraced his roots because he was being told he's from a certain place. Wakaenda mpaka huko, wakaenda wakatafuta, hakuna mtu huko anamjua, hakuna. So guys were like, ala, how comes there's nobody who knows this guy in the place where he's supposed to have come from? Sasa venye media ilitoa hiyo story that this guy, we are not able to trace his roots because place yenye wanasema ametoka sijui Bunyala ama ni wapi huko Western somewhere, wameenda paka huko, wameenda kwa ground, wamejaribu kutafuta, hakuna. There was only an old mama who was saying, oh, you know what, this was my son, sijui kama yeye pia alikuwa kwa hiyo mix ama ni nini, but she's saying like that, but hakuna mtu mwingine. Ukiuliza majirani hawamjui, ukiuliza watu wenye wanaishi kwa hiyo area hawamjui. Sasa waliona watablanda, so that's why they released the guy, they removed the guy, because they knew they've already been caught on that account, unaona, that this guy is not from this area. So I'll not even be shocked that that guy hata si Mkenya, for all you know. I'll not be shocked at all that huyu mtu hata he's not even a Kenyan, and hata waipatikana, that one I can assure you, hawezi patikana. Apatikane aje? Hawezi patikana. So that's the kind of a country that we are living in, gangsters paradise. Kila mtu anafanya na ni vituko, and then the government ni vituko tupu, vipindi. Before tumemaliza hii ingine. Kenyans, in fact, yani it's like we're in a movie, I'm telling you, a circus.
Kenya ni kuchukua popcorn, uende ukae juu ya KCC waanze kuona drama polepole.
Sahi kama unaweza kidnap mtu mwenye alipea watu kwa protest, hiyo ni nini? How can you kidnap somebody for giving people water? I mean,
What's the crime in giving water?
Me, I don't know. Maybe they want to know whether the water was funded by somebody. Najua hiyo ndio story yenye
If it was funded, it's just water. I mean, what's the crime? You see, mine can be funded. Even you can fund me for my water bill. What's the problem?
You know, these guys, they have a mindset that all these people are or were being funded by someone bigger. No. So even when they took the Kitengela 3, those two brothers na Bob Njagi, the whole 30-something days they were there, they were busy asking them, who is funding you? Who is funding you?
But Nani, public. Let's be objective here. Let me ask a question. I can be funded by who's the worst criminal that you know in your life?
Ruto.
Okay, I can be funded by okay, no, I wouldn't be funded by Ruto. Let me just talk about Tata. It's become so bad that Tata ya Ruto inakata. Let's go to this Idi Amin. Let's just go to Idi Amin. Idi Amin can fund me. The Hitler can fund me. But have I committed a crime?
No.
I got the money. Wherever he got the money, hiyo ni shida yake, hiyo ni crime yake. Mimi mtu akikuja niletee pesa, like if I came to you and you have a non-organizational project and non-governmental NGO, and you're helping people. Listen, Pablo Escobar used to fund South America yote. Yani alikuwa na peana, and we know Pablo Escobar was a drug dealer. Lakini if you've received the money and you're not involved in that cartel things, for you mtu amekuja akakwambia shika. What crime did you do?
Oh, the point is, Mato, that Ruto doesn't believe that someone can do something
Against him.
organically, like mi naweza tu jitolea niende nipeane maji juu mi ni mzalendo. What he believes, the way he buys people, he believes that even these people who are acting against, they've been bought by someone bigger. That's what he thinks. He doesn't believe ati sasa mi naweza jitolea ati nipeane maji. He'll always be like, so you remember even the first days alikuwa shaanza kusema ati hizi Gen Z protests are being funded by Ford Foundation. They're being funded by, that's what he has in his head, because he doesn't see like there's a Kenyan who is patriotic enough to just go out there and just out of their own conviction go out and fight, or out of their own.
Sasa, you remember Pipeline? There were ladies that were throwing waters, walikuwa natupa maji chini. That was the ODM protest. Walikuwa wanatupia, wanamwagia the protesters maji kutoka kwa gorofa. What mistake did they do? Na kuna mtu alikuwa analalamika huko chini mwenye anamwagikiwa na hiyo maji. Kwanza they were welcoming it because at least sawa ni watu wanaona wamegongwa na tear gas, so wanawatupia maji huko chini, wanawaosha na maji. Hakuna mtu alisema kwa nini you're drowning my clothes in water. Wote walikuwa wanasema wanashukuru, wanasema thank you. You see, something like that is just, it's something of hata mtoto wa class 2, hata nursery. I think that needs to be hata mtoto mwenye, that's an embryo kind of thinking, because it doesn't make any sense at all. Mi kwangu it makes sense at all.
I mean, it's crazy, really. But you see that, part of our problem too is that we are dealing with someone who is like crazy. This guy is crazy, and then he's extremely paranoid. Like he knows, he has intelligence. He knows that he's very unpopular right now. And he knows even in the global stage, he's become very unpopular. If you saw him when he was in Ghana, you could see the other presidents on the other dignitaries like walikuwa na muignore. There's a clip nimeona whereby there's a guy alikuja akasalimia watu mpaka anasalimia watu wenye wako nyuma yake, lakini yeye hamsalimii. So
did you realize that he was never called?
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he was not called. Sijui kama pia uliona hiyo, hakuitwa. Hao wengine waliitwa, yeye hakuitwa.
He was the only one who wasn't called?
Yes. Sijui uliona hiyo?
Hao wengine wote waliitwa akabaki tu peke yake.
Hakuitwa. Na hizo ngumi zake anakunjanga kila mahali akitembea, amekunja ngumi. Sijui anakuaga nataka kupiga nani. but his stature, I always look at this guy and I'm like, kwani lazima ukiwa president lazima ukunje ngumi? Can't you just be easy?
Okay.
Kuitwa
No, unajua acha nikwambie, ame lose respect on the, unajua kama Mahama him he's not he type, sio hiyo type ya Ruto, so that's why hata ni ile tu for technicality he had to invite him, but he's not on his side at all. So ame lose credibility abroad, ame lose credibility in the African stage. He's also not popular in his own country. Sasa kama umevutiwa by your own people ukakuwa number 2 kwa corruption, kwa hiyo scale yenye walikuwa nasema the most corrupt person, what do you, so he's angry that because alikuwa anafikiria akishaingia kwa hiyo kiti manze mtakuwa mnamuworship, mtakuwa mnamwabudu.
honestly,
Sasa
I don't think aliitwa, by the way. Honestly, this is me, mtu asiniquote, lakini this is just me. I don't think aliitwa. I think he invited himself because remember for the longest now, especially kwanza venye Trump alichaguliwa, which by the way Kenyans fought a lot for Trump to get in, aache kujifanya darling of whatever. Listen, I don't think he was invited. I think the guy is missing to be that kaunda suit that goes pan-Africanist, moving all over the world and trying to be seen, kuja kusema kwa Benihin, sijui kuita Benihin, and showing that, oh, I'm the first G African to be what. Some things you don't even talk. If you're the first, be the first. Kibaki was the first kuitwa hata kafanya nini ya the dead soldiers in the US. Why would you come and talk about things like that? So I think yeye alijiskuma huko hivyo because it's been very difficult for Mr. Kasongo to move around with the bravado that he used to have when he came in, when Magendo came into power, that he wanted to be all over, and that guy would never even step a foot in Kenya. He would just, and Africa even ndege hata izizimwe, and Asonge, we're going to the next place. So right now things have changed for him, so he still wants to be mi hiyo kitu ya nini ya Ghana, I think he alijiskuma, and most of the presidents in Africa are not really happy with him. Hence my take that I say that even this Raila AUC seat, I think Ruto has already killed it for him because he's become the most unpopular president in Africa, to a point that even the citizenry that you purport, if that's the right English, to lead, they're actually nominating you. In fact, not in a good way, but nominating you to the worst, that you end up being. Kwanza tulianguka kidogo tu, we needed a couple of votes. Wangeendelea, he would have been number 1 of the worst thing that anybody can be, the corrupt person. And remember, this is an institution that actually works with the, organized crimes and things like that. So if you have an international organized crime investigating agency, and then you end up actually coming number 2, and most votes are coming from your own backyard, really, don't you see a problem?
Mato,
Yes, sir.
Let us sum up. Don't see the time is so much spent.
I think kuna mtu alikuwa amekwambia anataka kuja kuchangia on the comment. I was looking at it. Sijui
anakuja next an hour na ataniweka hapa surely. Bernard is not feeling quite well. He needs to seek the medication. So we will still stand with Bernard and let us do something. Wenye tuko tufanye kitu kwa the scrolling details on the screen. Number Bernard iko hapo kwa screen. Also the till is there on the screen. You can tingiza so that you can even get the medication well as we keep rolling up the channel and as we keep on going on and on. So please, I urge you, and also still remind you, let us subscribe to our channel journalists back. Let us risk this. If you are already a subscriber in Sound Candy Talk, go back and subscribe again, and we'll be moving on swiftly because everything is going on well. We're still urging everyone, come, let us participate in this so that we can move together as we closing up. As we bring up the closing remarks for the day, both for the story of the story that women who decided to kill his or her husband. Let us listen to public participation, then Mukenya Mkora will close for us.
Yeah. So I think what I can advise Kenyans in terms of the things, the domestic violence which has been going on in the country is tumrudia tu Mungu, and let's choose wisely as well the people who we are entering in relationships with. And if you notice that your partner is violent, please remove yourself from that situation. Remove yourself, because I can tell you, including men, not just women, including men. The example of the lady who became Miss Langata, and she recently graduated with a law degree from University of London in Langata Women's. She used to find SMSs from other women in the man's phone, and she used to get violent, but the guy just ignored, and he was like, she's just being, but she was violent to him. And at the end of the day, she ended up stabbing him 20-something times until he was dead. So when you see someone has been violent, please remove yourself from that situation, because you're not even helping that person by staying in the relationship. Your violence, when it escalates and they kill you, they'll end up being in jail for the rest of their life. So you are also helping them by removing yourself, so that they can take time out and reflect. They come back to themselves and reflect, what's wrong with me? Why am I violent? What's going on with me? If they have anger management issues, they seek help. This is just like when you're dealing with an alcoholic. Don't enable the alcoholic. If you're staying in a toxic relationship, you are enabling that toxic behavior. You're not helping that person. You're just enabling them to continue being destructive, because they are also destroying your life by being violent. They'll also be self-destructive. So if you're in a toxic relationship, okay, understand that, like in Kenya, when you're a man, if you go to a police station and you tell them that your wife hit you or cut you with whatever, it's very hard, like because of our patriarchal society. A man is not, they'll not take you seriously, or they might just dismiss you as you are weak or something. But even if police cannot help you, can help yourself by moving out of the relationship. Distance yourself from a person, give them time to sort out what is going on with them, because such people, I believe, they have mental health issues which they need to sort out. So, and likewise, I know there's a lot of frustration because of the economic situation of the country. Let's not take out our stress on people who are innocent, like the man who killed his daughter because she got D+. You might be having your own, problems which are stressing you, like financial problems, particularly right now the economy is bad, but you don't have a right to go and unleash your anger towards Zakaya or the economy on your child or any other person. Look for other outlets where you can be able to offload your stress, instead of letting it pile and then one day you erupt and you just kill someone, and then now you end up going to jail. So we need a lot of mental health advocacy, awareness, creating awareness about these issues, because the way things are going in this country, I don't know. There's a lot of things which are not going okay. Things are going wrong. And as well, if you if somebody is being abducted near you, do the best you can do to stop their abduction without risking your life. Of course, if the abductor removes their gun, don't be confrontational, because they may feel trapped and feel that their life is in danger, especially if it's a mob, and they may end up discharging their weapon. So if you see somebody like what happened today, they removed the gun, just leave it. You know, there's no point of us having more casualties as well. But if you're able to save the person, please do, because we don't even know, with the number of abductees who we have, we now don't even know who is alive and who is dead, because we don't even understand which criteria they're using to decide who will die and who will live. Like, we are living in a mafia environment, a gangster's paradise. So let's be each other's brother. Let us be each other's brother's keeper, because we're having a rogue government, and our lives are in danger for the smallest thing. So we need to be just on high alert because of that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I see Tonsenini, I'm drinking. Me too, sijafuta comment yoyote. Let us listen to Mkenya Mkora, suyo enda. Kenya Matu.
Thank you. I've been caught off guard by public participation's closing remark, because she came out strong on the things that I've always been thinking. And thank you so much, public participation. Laws of nature versus nurture. It has come to a point in our country, especially because we are all Kenyans. Ngao itulinze. I feel personally, in my own person, and today I'm just going to empty a little bit of what I feel. I will not empty everything as my closing remark, but I will empty something, and also put a little bit of an icing on what public has said. Because at the end of the day, tukikuja tuchokozane, tufanye hivi, we don't agree, not disagree, nini. At the end of the day, this is our country, this is our kids, this is our lives, this is our grandkids. Some of us might not think they will ever have grandkids, but they're going to be there. They will always be there. They will come, even when you're in the casket. The thing is that it has come to a point where I'm thinking, just like public said, we have to think bigger. And by thinking bigger, we cannot think bigger by actually bullshitting. Because every day we are talking about the same thing. I can bet you, Mr. Shedizo, and everybody that is listening to us, and my dear sister here, public, we know the problems. No one doesn't know the problems in Kenya. I can bet you even a nursery school can tell you the problem. But the thing, we're very poetic. We keep on just talking about something and you know, just making a circle. You stand on the left side, and then next time you do 90 degrees, you stand on the other side. You're still on the same circle. Then you do a 180. Then you're still on the same circle. Then you do a 360, but you're still on the same circle. We run around the same things that we talk. The things that we spoke about last year are the same things that we're speaking today. Maybe in a very sophisticated kind of way of assuming they're not the same things that we spoke about last year. And for me, that is what frustrates me. You talk to someone in private, they will tell you, they will tell you the same project, the same problems. But tomorrow they will come in a show like this that is supposed to be doing civic education, but then they'll come with the same issue, but kama imefunikwa sufuria. The next time they will come with the same issue kama imefunikwa nyungu. I am just saying, it has come to a point that, ladies and gentlemen, even if we are calling it out, we call it out and we don't call it out again. Ikitulemea imetulemea. Tukisema Ruto ni mwizi na tumesema mara mbili na hatujajua venye ya kudili na mwizi, tuachane nayo. Ikae hivyo. Na tumuache akuwe mwizi na aendelee na mwizi yake. Na tukubali tuseme huyu ni mwizi wetu basi. But if you cannot stomach kusema huyu ni mwizi wangu, if you're mature enough not to stomach kukubali for the rest of your life utasema huyu ni mwizi wako, then talk and make moves. But if you're gonna keep on talking about who ni mwizi, who doesn't know, nani ajui? Tunashindia kelele, oh Ruto alifanya, oh sijui nini. Mwache basi afanye kila kitu. Simu mwache Kenya basi, si wote tuame, tuone atachukua nini, atafanya nini. Tuone kama atafanya Kenya yote ikwe. You know, I get to a point where I'm so stressed. I'm like, some of the people that actually live outside the country don't even understand what Kenyans are doing. Because Kenyans will wake up in the morning and shout on top of their voices. And I'm sorry, Kenyans, I'm a Kenyan too. Shout. The vocal cords zinaenda kupotea. Piga kelele, but do total nothing. You got a constitution. You got people, you got the media leverage like this, where you can actually talk and call, not even just talk. It's not about talk. Call for action. People are willing to talk. Lakini even the people that are willing, they're asking for us to talk, especially the people that are calling for diasporans to talk, even though people think diasporans have a lot. But yes, they do. But you find that some of them, the people that are out there, they're out there to just make themselves. So I've been looking, Shady, as I close, I've been really looking closely onto this social media people, social media is a good thing. But when you look at them, everything they're asking is nitumieni, nifanyieni, ndio nifanye, and whatever. It has become a money making thing for them to be on what you're thinking, or to bring you, or to pull you in, so that because you think there's something, as somebody who's living outside, to bring you in and to lure in cash. After that, they really don't care. It's just, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and whatever. Yet some people out here and out there are actually thinking about, even people in Kenya. And when I talk about diaspora, I'm talking about mtu ametoka Nyeri lakini anaishi Nairobi. But you find mtu mwenye anaishi Nairobi na kuna mtu anaishi Nyeri huko, you find that all they want to do is get that just the chapa, the money. It's all about the money because the government is not giving people opportunities. So what will they do? And if you look at this time, people are actually all the way either in TikTok, Nini, subscribers, subs, whatever. They're focused on getting subscription, and because it's gonna be made monetized, but they focused so much on monetization that they've forgotten our values of our country and what people are talking about. So when you talk about the governorship of our country, the person who's looking at it on the other side, they're looking at, oh, how can I use this to get monetized? And it's the reason some of us that are really serious about our governorship are starting to getting out from these channels and staying away, because I believe the more we have 10 people here talking is monetization. Yet that's not what we really wanted. What we really wanted was doing civic education and making it be monetized while at least you building something. Right now, everybody is dancing songs, and you go to TikTok, you will see them dancing and doing whatever as long as you have numbers. Most of them, even the kina Gaidos, najua atanitusi kesho. Gaido pole, daddy, I had to use your thing here, you're my friend. Even the Gaido, Francis Gaido, I know, hata yeye, bado nataka apate hiyo monetization. So he has to come and talk matope. Even though I understand him, he knows what he's talking about. But at the end of the day, Kenyans, I want you to go sit down. Hata AI ikikuja, the Kasongo's cartoons, are you really going back and looking at yourself of what the country that you want to have a country in? Are you willing to
sum up?
Okay, I'm gonna sum up. Are you willing to close this whole thing to where that we don't care about the US, we don't care about these other countries, and we don't care about anything. We just care about our country. We're in a good place. Uhuru alituacha mahali pazuri. We have flyovers. Some countries are kinda, very interested in our country, looking at these things that we never had. Kibaki alituacha na Thika Highway, Uhuru ametuacha na overpass. What is Ruto not kutuacha? What has he done since he was there? So do you see a failure into that? We need to actually go back and look back to what we are doing. Now, Mr. Shedizo and public participation, I appreciate so much. There's so much I could have said that comes from the heart, but I appreciate a lot. Asanteni sana for giving me this chance. May God bless you and have a good time. Happy New Year.
Thank you for the contribution. I appreciate for everyone, but then I have to go to do other things. I still have a video to edit, and tomorrow I'm still having a long day, so hakuna kulala na kusukuma tu na kuzidi kusonga mbele. So I appreciate for everyone that make the day to come as this. Still, you never know what to say. I don't have anyone to appreciate you, but I know that indeed you are true patriotic. So let us continue speaking for the Kenyans so that we can make our nation be a better and a good place, so that we can all enjoy living in this nation, because this nation belongs to me and you. I don't have Laziada. Goodbye. Until next time.
At Sound Candid Talk, we provide live UHD broadcast for church services, talk shows and podcasts, weddings, live bands, products and services launches, webinars and trainings, Zoom meetings, conferences, seminars, exhibitions, and virtual concerts.